What's up, everybody? And we are live. It's your man DL saying how y'all feeling. Welcome to I Really Want to Know podcast. Oh man, it's Thursday, y'all. It's 6 o'clock, and it's time to do what we do. I hope y'all are good. One more day to the weekend. I got one more day. Um, man, I hope y'all are well. Hope everything. Just checking the audio. Looks like we're broadcasting. Is cool. I think I picked a topic today that's not gonna get us in trouble or get me in trouble, I should say. Um, we're just talking about sadness, man. Why are people so sad? In particular, why are these young kids, man, these millennials and what is it, the Gen Zers, why are they so sad, y'all? I don't understand. I don't understand. Somebody help me out. So um I'm just doing what I normally do. And there was a content creator that I'd never seen before, just wound up in my queue, and I, checked out her content. And it was something about sadness, right? And I kind of we're gonna react to it. You know what I mean? We're definitely gonna react to it. Um, but it just, I don't know, it just made me wonder, like, what's going on. I did notice, like, whenever I monetize something, because YouTube, I guess, doesn't like the content that I normally if I monetize it, it's already restricted, like, slightly. It's like partly monetized. It's never like boom, just it's never green, it's yellow. Like, you know what I mean? It's just whenever I hit it, it's just yellow. They're just like, whatever, man, dude. He be talking about grown up stuff, so it just they just jump right on it. It's yellow. Man, again, I'm learning. I'm learning. So yeah, man, it seems to be a thing, and this isn't the first I've heard of it. I've been out here just like talking to people, and it comes up. You get to talking to folks, and you see articles and you see stats. Um, they talk about how men are sad, right? We see that a lot, especially on the manosphere side of the world. Men are sad, and then the people that go in, they say they're sad because they're not getting any sexual access. Women don't like them. They're in the bottom 80. You hear all these other kind of things, but I don't know, man. I think it goes deeper than that. I think it goes deeper. Like, they're talking about, it's always tied to intersexual dating dynamics. I think it goes deeper than that. And I don't know what. I mean, I think it boils down to, personally, I think people are sad, especially these young folks, because they're sad because they ain't never had to struggle. They grew up never having to struggle, never having to feel the sting. I say getting punched in your mouth, or the sting of disappointment, or being told no. Then they become grown-ups and they realize that the world isn't what they thought it was. It ain't what you seen. The world ain't what it seems. And those, just like that scene in that movie. World ain't what it seems, is it, Gunny? You remember that. Just when you think you got it figured out, you're wrong. I'm gonna have to get that in my soundboard. Gonna have to get into my soundboard. I love that bit right there. But it's true. I think a lot of these young kids, I think life just hits them in the mouth, and they're not ready for it. At least that's my take on it. I'm not sure, but we're gonna get into it. Brother Dino's in the house, man. What's good, fam? Always a pleasure to see you. Brother DL, South Florida flooded. Was Tampa your old airport? You spoke too soon about the insurance problems. Yeah, I did speak too soon about that. Nah, I never worked at Tampa. Yeah, that's where I am now. I never worked Tampa. I did work at Miami International. I worked there. And yeah, Miami is flooded. I got people down there that was hitting me up, telling me about it. I saw some news reports on it. I'm on Fresh's Instagram. He was going live while driving around in Fort Lauderdale, showing cars that were completely submerged. Like, all you could see was the very top of their car. I'm not sure what road he was on. It could have been an interstate. He could have been uh on 95, because he was right next to the airport. I'm assuming it was Fort Lauderdale Airport. Um, but yeah, it looked horrible. But I mean, and it's one of those things, you're driving around at night. For anyone who's never dealt with like flood waters, you're driving around at night, you're not paying attention. You think it's a puddle until you hit it, right? And if you're in a little car, it's a wrap. And believe it or not, LA floods a lot. LA floods a lot. Yo. So when there's like when rain comes, they get the rainy season, it's LA ain't built properly. They didn't engineer it to keep water away. So like the drains back up and they're like cars like in Sherman Oaks, for instance, for anybody who's out there in California, you guys could back me up on this. If you're in Sherman Oaks on Ventura Boulevard, your car is parked on the street. Say it's parked overnight where you're good. There's no, you know, issues because normally overnight after a certain time, you can park on the street. If you park there and it's like a heavy rain and the gutters back up and whatnot, man, that water will get all the way up to your tailpipe and into the car if you don't move it. Like I've seen it. It's crazy. It is crazy. So yeah, and that's what leads to those sinkholes. So yeah, man, it is crazy, bro. So I'm glad y'all here rocking out. You know what I mean? Brother Christopher, love always. Yeah, what's good, fam? Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Miss AKA ladies in the house. What's good, lady? What's good, love? Always a pleasure to see you. Good evening to you as well. And Brother Dino is saying they have 40% of yearly rain in one day. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. From what I understand, Fort Lauderdale International Airport is closed until tomorrow. I think it's closed until tomorrow. It's been closed for, I think, over a day, over 24 hours. And there were flights inbound to Fort Lauderdale that had to divert to Tampa. And that must be a real problem because normally if you got to divert, you go from Fort Lauderdale, you go right to Miami. But Miami's dealing with the same thing. Then they have some smaller regional airports that really can't handle that kind of volume. So the next, I guess the next big airport would be Palm Beach. You know what I mean? And then you got like Fort Myers, maybe, but then Tampa. So that must be crazy. I wonder how many other flights were just canceled. There's probably a lot of people that just didn't, they do what they call a ground stop when stuff like that happens. And they'll stop any airplane that's destined to that airport. And if it's a rain issue like that, where there's a lot of flooding, it's going to affect all of the airports, even the smaller airports. They'll ground stop Florida. It's just nobody can fly to Florida, even though Tampa's cool, because they really want to watch what's going on and make sure the controllers don't get overwhelmed and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll talk about that one day. I'll do a show about how that works, because I know a lot of people are kind of curious how that works. You hear these terms like ground stop. That means the airport, everything is stopped. No, it doesn't. It has a different meaning. And they get these things called call for release, which is like another thing that maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do an air traffic control show and I'll give you guys some inside sauce on what goes on in there in the ATC world. Sister Candace in the house, what's good, love? You know what I mean? Brother Dino's like, yeah, the airport looks like a lake, bro. It does, man. He's like, the airport was a lake. Yeah, it looked that way, man. It's not gonna affect the aircraft. The aircraft that are already on the ground being, whatever. But it can definitely, you can't land in that kind of water. Standing water like that causes even airplanes or hydroplanes. So they're trying to land or whatever, and they'll just spin out, just like a car will spin out. It's crazy. It's crazy. Can't take off any. If a pilot had to, I probably would figure it out. Like if he absolutely had to get airborne, I'm sure they can do it. But landing, you don't want to land in that sort of stuff, bro. So, Miss AKA lady, are you good at predicting if your flight is gonna get delayed? I'm pretty good at it, but I need a lot of information. I need a lot of information. So certain airports, I'm better at predicting than others, but I need a lot of information. So if let's say I was in Vegas and I was flying to New York, I would need to see the radar of not just like the problem area. Let's say the problem was getting out of New York. I would need to see the weather around New York, and I would have to see the weather probably for 100 miles around New York and throughout the state, because the weather at the airport could be perfect, but the routes leading to the airport could be horrible, and it forces air traffic controllers to put airplanes through a funnel. There's only one patch of clean, clear sky. Well, all airplanes are going to want to fly that way. So that will cause delays. So it's a lot of information I will need to see. I'm real good at judging what's going on in places that I've worked, like Miami, like the Southern California area, Southern Florida area. I'm really good at judging that because I've worked with the guys and talked to the guys who actually do the job. And it's called traffic management, TMU, the traffic management unit, or the controllers who actually do that. And I've sat there and watched them work. I've talked to them, so I understand certain places better than others. So yeah, I can figure it out, but and my best secret It's like when all else fails, I just pick up a phone and call one of my buddies. Hey, bro, what's going on? What's delay look? What are the delays looking like getting in and out of this airport? And the controllers I know can just go to a computer and pull it up and pull up the exact flights and all that kind of stuff. So I have inside help. But yeah, I'm pretty good at it. Brother Christopher, yeah, from the airport stuff definitely triggered my internet, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like that, the airport stuff is. I mean, that was. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That was a great career. I'm glad I had it. That was a real. That was. You want to talk about fulfilling and something that you go to work every day, and something that you have to strive to be the best at every single day. It's never the same thing twice, ever, ever. I never saw the same thing twice. It was even when you think this is going to work the same way it worked yesterday, and it won't. It won't because the variables are different. There's different type of airplane. It could be the same airplane, but a different crew, different pilot. You know what I mean? You don't know their dynamic, different passenger. Like it's so many different variables that just makes it different. You know what I mean? Just makes it different. So yeah, let's get into this though, man. This happiness thing, man. Like why are so many Americans sad, bro? And it's the younger Americans that I've noticed. I mean, you have, every cohort has unhappy people, but these young kids, they really seem to be unhappy. I just went and talked to my daughter, like, what's up with you? How are you feeling? You know me feeling sad? Are you feeling happy? And she's like, I'm in the middle. Like like every day. And she's like, yeah, I'm about in the middle. I mean, but I can, hear her laugh. I hear her talking or whatever. So I know she's good. But this is just one of those things. It's just one of those things, bro. And Brother Chris is like, because they have no purpose, bro. That's part of it. I think because they have no purpose, because they were brought up indoors, because they weren't allowed to, be like free range children going out there and just, learning on their own, forming their own little packs and going out with kids like we did. I think all that comes into play, all of it. You know what I mean? I'm guilty of it. I don't let my daughter go outside, and she doesn't ask to go outside. We were forced to go outside. So, I mean, I don't know. And there are kids around our neighborhoods. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, bro. But I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. So there's a article. I'm probably gonna do this one. This was NBC News. This was an older article. Americans are the unhappiest they've been in 50 years. And this was a poll. Just 14% of US adults say they're very happy. So yeah, this was June 16th of 2020. So this goes back a ways. And this has a lot to do with the beer bug, you know what I mean, like with the pandemic and all that. But I don't think people have gotten happier since this article was dropped. You know what I mean? St. Petersburg, Florida, spoiler alert, 2020 has been rough on the American psyche. Folks in the US are more unhappy today than they've been in nearly 50 years. Okay, yeah, we get that. That's bold yet unsurprising. Conclusions comes from the COVID response tracking study conducted by NORC, the University of Chicago. It found that just 14% of American adults say they're very happy, down from 31% who said the same in 2018. That year, 23% said they'd often or sometimes felt isolated in recent weeks. Now 50% say that. So we can see that the numbers were going up. And I mean, when I think about it too, like, and you guys watching, I mean, how would you respond to that? Like, would you say that you're very happy, mostly happy, um, sometimes sad, or always sad, or something like that? Like, how would you describe it? Me, man, I'm good. I'm neutral. I'm this way. I mean, I'm happier when I'm traveling. I'm happier during certain periods, but for the most part, I'm cool. Now, there are issues that I've had to deal with, and yeah, there are issues I've had to deal with, and during that time frame, I would be like, yeah, this sucks. I'm not happy at all. You know what I mean? And it might. I wouldn't say I was sad. I was just like I was angry, really. You know what I mean? I was ready to get at some people. But for those people who just walk around sad, you see a lot of them. You see a lot of them, man. So I don't know, man. What would y'all say? We're pretty much older. We're grown ups on this podcast. I mean, we have some young folks that watch us, but for the most part, what I mean, we're pretty much grown folks on this podcast, man. Or does it even matter? You know, Does it even matter if you're happy or sad? And I'm just talking about to those who are listening to me right now. What do y'all think about that, man? Brother Chris was like, yeah, man, it's a huge subject. It is. Sister Miss AKA lady, too much internet. Yep. And she's like, wow, 14% are happy. Right. And that, yeah, and I bet you the number has gone down with recent polls. I'm having trouble finding recent polls, but I did find something we're going to find interesting. We're going to look at. We're saving that for actually, yeah, that's coming up. Brother Christopher, people don't socialize, poor health. People want money, not chase excellence and improve themselves. Facts. Facts. I agree with you there, bro. I think that if people were to work on themselves and set realistic goals is gonna that they can achieve, I think is gonna make them feel better in accomplishing those goals, knocking those down. When you got people who are just like, I want a Lamborghini, like, bro, how you gonna get there? And then if you really want a Lamborghini? You know what I mean? I know I use Fresh all the time as an example from Fresh and Fit. And Fresh was like, yeah, I want him McLaren. And he got one. And he was like, man, this is trash. You know what I mean? So, but the dude was happy when he was driving the Toyota or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. Sister Candace, yes, at Miss AKA lady, people need to stay offline. Yeah, that's a big thing. Dr. B's in the house. What's good, fam? Being a doctor, bro, like, would you say that more people are sad? Are you encountering that? There's like, like a spike in sadness, bro. Are you seeing that in your work? Just stop by. Fam, been crazy busy with work. Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by, bro. I really do. And for those of you who are here, man, I appreciate it. Hit the like button, man. Thanks for coming through, y'all. I do appreciate it. I'm definitely gonna drop the link on this if anybody wants to be a superstar and wants to come up and put their face on screen. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit. Well, when we get towards the end of this. But yeah, man. Like, I mean, I wonder what's y'all take on sadness and happiness, bro? Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm too busy to be sad, I guess. I mean, but you get into a funk. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think this one through. I don't know. Don't know how I feel about this one right now. Miss AKA lady, I would say I have a normal life. Some days are tough, but it's life. However, my good days far outweigh my bad days. I keep a super simple life and I don't compare myself to anyone. I am happy. And your mom. I'm telling you, having a kid like just today, talking to my daughter about her, I told her to sweep up and she missed the very thing I wanted her to sweep up. And I let it sit there for a week just to see if she would see it. And I know she saw it and she didn't do anything about it. And I talked to her about it. I confronted her and we had a laugh. Sometimes it is what it is. You know what I mean? She tried to argue her way out of it. And I'm like, no, 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 no. She's like, I don't. First, it was, I don't remember. And like, oh, you don't remember this? Then I pointed out, oh, well, I did it. No, you didn't. It's still right there. Look, I just picked it up. I don't remember. Like, cut it out. It wasn't there. Yes, it was. And so it was what it was. When I was younger and we had those kind of conversations, I was getting screamed at and I didn't like those conversations. So I make sure, I'll scream at my daughter when she messes up bad. But when it's stuff like that, nah, I don't scream at her. And it seems to be working. But I thought it was funny. Let's see. Brother Chris, it's different nowadays. I know my happiness, high or low, is directly due to me. If I work hard, work through hard times and pass tests, then I will be happy with myself. All right, that's a good point, bro. That's a good point. I'm with that. Dr. B, I don't do psychiatry, but yes, I've seen a bit of it here and there. Yeah, I get it, bro. You could be doing internal medicine, but dealing with unhappy people, you know what I mean, you're just gonna see them. We see them out here in life. I in the world in the trenches, bro. I see unhappy people. Keeping it 100. A lot of unhappy dudes in the manosphere, bro. My red pillars. And be careful using the RP word, man, because the feds is listening. The feds, the feds is watching. They don't. If I guess now that word is like a terrorist term or something like that, it's insane, y'all. It's insane. The Federal Bureau of Investigations is keying in on that word. But there's a lot of dudes in the manosphere, y'all. A lot of dudes in the manosphere that are truly sad, and they mask it with anger, and they want to lash out. But when you know what I'm saying, when you push through all that, you get to the point where they're just sad and lonely, bro. And it boils down to what Brother Chris is saying. Y'all gonna have to set some goals and work hard and push through it. There's nothing like the feeling of accomplishment, man. To get yourself right. So But again, we're dealing with people who may not have ever done that. May not have ever done that, bro. And brother Chris, like if I sleep all day, eat Cheetos, and play video games, I may be happy for the first 2 hours, but the next day I'm gonna hate life. Absolutely, bro. Sister Candace, my happiness or sadness isn't solely dependent on external factors. I feel you. I feel you. Brother Christopher, too busy to be sad. You know what I mean? Too busy to be sad. You know what I mean? That's fact, bro. And when I hear stuff like that, I can tell just from those words. I'm like, all right, I know what type of dude this is. Like when I hear what Sister Candace says and women say, "Hey, lady says," I know what type of women they are. Hard chargers, people taking care of business, man. We ain't sitting around looking for a fairy tale, man. We know it depends on us. We got to stand on us, right? That's, I'm responsible. When I hear that kind of stuff, I'm like, all right, these people are squared away. But what I'm hearing from these young people is not that. I do hear a lot of the victim blame and the pointing. It's not my fault. It's that person's fault. It's that person's fault. It was mommy's fault. It was daddy's fault. It was my teacher's fault. That sort of stuff is what I'm trying to combat. And that's the kind of stuff that we do not accept in the New Templars. Like we got this group going. We're really excited. We think we're going to get our membership up pretty good, pretty quick, man. So it's like just young men coming together, men coming together. And that's one of the things we will not tolerate, bro. Like, nah, man, not this victimization stuff, bro. No, we're not going to have that. You know what I mean? Stand up on your own. Miss AKA lady, the kids are absolutely fulfilling. They are. They are. I cannot deny that. Dr. B, I'll say I see the worst of the worst all the time in hospital. People with debilitating conditions and some that are very sick and dying. It really puts important things into perspective. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Like you living in that bubble, man. I get it, man. Law enforcement, like healthcare, the medical field, air traffic, military circles, and the military guys who are, especially those men and women who train to go down range and do all that kind of stuff. You see certain things you do see. I get that. Even being a paratrooper, bro, there are really good days and really bad days, man. You see somebody go streaming in and they don't do what they're supposed to do, or they kind of have some sort of partial malfunction and they come in and they get hurt bad. That gives you a whole new perspective. And you see it, the world doesn't stop. Like we still got to go. You take the equipment that they have that you need and you leave them there with the medics, man. You go on with the mission. And a lot of times you get mad because now you got to carry extra gear. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. Why'd you have to break your leg on this jump? You know what I mean? We got a mission. Why couldn't you break your leg on the other jump when we weren't doing nothing? But and a lot of people in this world, they develop like a dark sense of humor. Brother Doug's in the house. What's good, fam? Hit the like for the algorithm. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, please hit that like, man. So let's continue on with this article, man. So we read that the survey conducted in late May draws on nearly half a century of research from the General Societal Survey, which has collected data on American attitudes and behaviors at least every other year since 1972. That's a lot of data. No less than 29% of Americans have ever called themselves very happy in the survey. Wow. So yeah, we're kind of breaking ground. Most of the new surveys interviews were completed before the death of George Floyd touched off a nationwide protest and a global conversation about race and police brutality, adding to the feelings of stress and loneliness Americans were already facing from the beer bug outbreak. I think that the name is still a bad name on YouTube, so we'll say beer bug outbreak or pandemic, especially for Black Americans. So all right, it kind of goes into who they were talking to. Let's look at some of these talking points. See, among other findings from the new poll about life during the pandemic or in the pandemic, the public is less optimistic today about the standard of living improving for the next generation than it has been in the past 25 years. Only 42% of Americans believe that when their children reach their age, their standard of living will be better. A solid 57% said that in 2018. They said that a solid 57% said that in 2018. So 57% of Americans in 2018 said that by the time their kids get to their age, that their standard of living will be better. Did I read that right? Only 42% of Americans believe that when their children reach their age, the standard of living will be better. Right. Yep, that's right. So, and that was 57% back in 2018. So it's dropped down to 42%. Since the question was asked in 1994, the previous low was 45% in 1994. So here's the point right here. Twice as many Americans report being lonely today as in 2018. And not surprisingly, given the lockdowns, they tried to contain the spread of the beer bug. There's also been a drop in satisfaction with social activities and relationships. Compared with 2018, Americans also are about twice as likely to say they sometimes or often have felt a lack of companionship. That's 45% versus 27%. And felt left out, 37% versus 18% in the past 4 weeks. So yeah, and all that makes sense because we were going through the lockdowns, man. That's definitely going to have you all out of whack, out of sorts. But people are just not happy, man. They're not happy. I mean, I get, I get it with the beer bug and all that. But I think it's more to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in the chat in case you guys want to go read the whole thing, because we didn't read the whole thing. And we have this first part I want to get through pretty quick because there's some more stuff that I wanted to cover. But when I was going through looking for stuff to talk about, I did find this on 538. This is 538. It seems that the U.S. is unhappier than many other countries, right? So compared to the rest of the free world, America seems to be number 16 on the happiness score. Finland's number 1. You got Denmark, Iceland, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Sweden, Norway, Israel. Think about all the stuff the Israelis have to deal with. I mean, seriously. Think of all the stuff the Israelis have to deal with, and they are way happier than we are. Way happier. You know what I mean? That's telling right there. New Zealand, Austria, Australia, Ireland, Germany, all happier. Canada, our neighbors to the north are happier than we are, than it's us. I guess the only good news is the United Kingdom. The Brits are unhappier than we are. Czech Republic, Belgium, and France. I don't know why France is so unhappy. Man, they're number 20. Why are the French so unhappy? They have such a nice language, man. Parlez-vous français? Menage a trois. They got a great sounding language, bro. They sit around and eat crepes all day. They wear berets. Why are they so unhappy? I don't understand. Do we have anybody who's French in here that can square me away? I don't know. France, why y'all so unhappy? I don't get it. I don't mean to make light of it. I know y'all going through a lot. There are a lot of protests over there. There's a lot of labor disputes over there. There are a lot of racial issues over there. I get that. I get all that. But man, y'all got great food and wine and beautiful countrysides and all that kind of stuff. It's a slow life. Man, why are you? I would think that you guys would be happier than Americans. That's just what I would think. Last good man in Jersey's in the house. What's good, fam? What's good, fam? Cody is King is in the house, man. That's my peoples, man. What's good, bro? Seeing how sad most people are makes me sad. I think one of the main issues is most people's lives revolve around their work instead of their selves, family, and friends. Fact. In America, we do work too hard, bro. Like our priorities, I would say, are out of whack. Out of whack. Last good man in Jersey. What's up with you, fam? Good to see you. Last good man in Jersey. The French are annoyed in general. It's their culture. Oh, I get that. I'll take that. It just, what I mean? They just seem so happy in the, some of the TV shows or when they're depicted, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, bro. It's like my brother owns a baker in France. Word? Because I can't wait. I haven't been to France, bro. I can't wait to go. I want to take my daughter. I think it's gonna be my daughter's first trip. We're gonna go to London. We're gonna go to Paris. We might hit Dover while go back across the channel, go back to London and see the White Cliffs of Dover, go see Stonehenge, and then maybe hop over to Germany. I want to take my daughter to Dachau. I want to show her how dark people can be. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna get her passport squared away and then plan that trip out. We'll go with her godmom. Her godmother knows how to, man, she knows how to travel, y'all. That's gonna be a good show when we come back from that trip. And I'm telling y'all what we did in France, what we did in the UK, what we did in Germany. Maybe throw Spain in there. We might do that. But yeah. Yeah, but back to, meanwhile, back at the ranch. You know what I mean? Sister Candace got to work smarter, not harder. Absolutely. I think a lot of people are just raised like, you got to work, you got to do this, but with no purpose. I mean, what's the point of making all this money, going out here and working yourself, working your fingers to the bone, and you're lonely? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know, what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me. So I get why the people are sad. In Hollywood, there are a lot of extremely wealthy people out there, man. And those really rich people are so sad, bro. So sad. They wrap themselves up in their work. Sometimes they're just, like mean and all that. There's a lot of unhappy. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about this, there's a lot of unhappy people out here. It's a lot of unhappy people, bro. A lot of it, maybe they can, use some counseling or whatever, but most of them they just need friends. They need to understand themselves. I got somebody I'm thinking about right now, just such a broken person. And they're broken because they just won't go and fix themselves. And then they come out into the world and it's like, what do you always say, Miss AKA lady? Don't bleed on me because somebody else cut you or something like that. They're that person just bleeding on everybody else. Bleeding on everybody else. Brother Cody, I personally saw much more happy people in France than I have in North America. Could have just been the area I was in, though, but could have been. Could have been. Like when you traveling around America, bro, like if you're up around, like Michigan, Wisconsin, certain parts of Ohio, certain parts of Illinois, some really happy people up there, bro. But those people tend to come from nuclear families and they grounded in religion and stuff like that. Their bubbles are really nice. They seem to be happy. And those kids go off to school, whatever, they seem to be happy. But I think a lot of it too, people go to school and they get away from their family and they start experimenting with stuff, and it makes them, they get so far away from who they are, who they were raised to be. They get to party and living their best life or whatever, going out here doing what they're doing. And then when they come back home and they got to sit there, they got so many secrets. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to tell. And that goes for men and women. Like coming from where I came from, if I was to go home and say, yeah, man, I got 5 girlfriends, I was smashing this down the third, most of the dudes would be like, yeah, high five me or whatever. But that's not a lifestyle that is praised in certain circles and certain bubbles. You know what I mean? It's the exact opposite. So the guy's got to keep his mouth shut about all the women he smashed. And the women, they definitely got to keep their mouth shut. You're like, yeah, I've been having group sex and living this poly life and doing all this other kind of stuff, not going to church. And then they go home, they got to keep that to themselves. So I think that would mess you up a little bit, hiding them secrets, having that dark passage. You got to keep away from the people that you love the most, the people you admire the most. And then if they find out, a video comes out, or they see you got a secret Instagram that pops out and you thirst trapping, or worse, you got an OF account. I can see how that could be a problem, yo. That can definitely be a problem. You know what I mean? Last Good Married in Jersey set aside a whole day for the Lavour. I said that wrong, but that's something in French. I can't understate how impressive it was. Lavour. I pronounced that wrong, bro. Sorry. Sorry, y'all know I'm hood. Hey man, I got the best education that the Cincinnati public school system could buy, bro. So I got to do a whole lot of working on myself. Actually, I was thinking about learning some conversational French. Right now, I'm still working on Spanish, but I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? And Miss AKA, that sounds like an amazing trip. It will be when we finally get around to it. I think people are too detached from the basics. People need sunshine. Staying inside reduces vitamin D in the body. Being outside is mentally helpful. Funny you said that, because we have more information that we are going to be talking about, and they bring that stuff up. I found another. So we're going to watch a video. We're going to watch a video first. And then after the video, there's another article out there. causes of happiness. And this is from a site that's like happiness.com or something like that. Um, just some random thing I found on the internet. But we're gonna watch this video first. And we already we saw that Americans aren't that happy. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. You know what I mean? But we're happier than the Brits. So that's all that matters. USA, USA. You know what I mean? Oh, the Louvre. My bad, brother Cody Skin. Yeah, famous museum, the Louvre. Yeah, I know. I just didn't know it was the Louvre was spelled that way. Yeah, I know about the Louvre. I want to go. I definitely want to go to the Louvre. I mean, that pyramid, man. I want to see that in person, and go in there. I think they still have the Mona Lisa on display there. I would love to see that. Um, the Louvre, Christmas. Yeah, thanks, y'all. Thanks for putting me on. Y'all know, like I said, man, they took me out the hood, but they couldn't quite get the hood out of me, fellas. Sorry. Sorry. But the Louvre, yeah, that's cool. That's what's up, man. Thank y'all very much. Appreciate it. So here's a video I found. It's Giving Growth Podcast. It's a very lovely young woman who does this. She's young. I think she's like 23 or something like that. She talks about a whole bunch of stuff, but this particular clip or episode is 16 minutes. Was about loneliness and stuff like that, and some of the things that she struggled with, which I found crazy, crazy. Because I mean, you look at her like she's very attractive, and she seems to be very well balanced. So I'm like, I was taken aback, like, So I stumbled onto her website or her YouTube page yesterday. She had like 2,300 subscribers. She has over 3,000 subscribers now, so she's definitely growing. You know what I mean? And good for her. And what she's talking about is pretty cool. Like she's doing the work. She's putting out shorts, YouTube shorts. She's like, she's putting out her stuff. She's talking about everything from like physical fitness, mental fitness, like this thing about having no friends. And the name of this particular video is I Have No Friends, an Epidemic. Lessons about friendships, loneliness, anxiety, social media. And this is coming from a young one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna definitely, I was like, oh, we're gonna talk about this today. So let me pull it up. Let me read these chats. The pronunciation wasn't that bad. Oh, when your previous guest said Maryland, yeah. Maryland. Yeah, that's how they get down. I ain't mad at them. On one of the streams referring to the state of Maryland, I was dead. I was dead too. I just didn't want to say nothing like Maryland. I was like, that's like me saying Arkansas. You know what I mean? Oh, you from Arkansas? It's Arkansas, dummy. Oh, my bad. Brother Doug, I want to see the House of Versailles. Yeah, man. They say that's a great tour. I definitely want to see that too. Yeah. There's definitely and we'll do a show. Trust me, before I do that trip, it'll be like a whole week of me talking about nothing but what we're gonna do on the trip, because it'll be the first time I've taken my daughter international, which is a big step, and it'll be, so much to learn. And trust me, when we do it, I'm gonna have that whole week just talking about what we're gonna do in this city, what we're gonna do in that city, what we're gonna eat, like all that stuff, how we, what safety precautions we're gonna take, all that kind of stuff, like how I'm gonna tell my daughter, like, hey, if we get separated, go here, that kind of stuff. We're gonna do the whole nine, bro. It's gonna be fun, bro. It's gonna be fun. Let's see, Brother Knight. People are Brother Knight is in the house. First of all, yeah, this is gonna be sad. People are sad because it's in vogue. That's another thing too. That's something right there, bro. That's something. People are sad because it gets them the attention, bro. It's the thing to do. It's being cool. That's hey, man, that's a good one right there, bro. Brother Williams in the house, man. What's good? Williams still here, man. More Fort Smith, Arkansas in the building. What's up? We got Arkansas all up in the piece. Fort Smith, Arkansas. Welcome, bro. I'm glad you're here. I am so glad you're here, man. What up with you, bro? Good to see you. And Miss AKA ladies agreeing with Nightish. Yeah, man. People love to complain about everything nowadays. Nobody sees the good in anything. That's facts. And I know when I talk to folks, when I'm out and about in the store or whatever I'm doing, moving around, when I ask someone how they're doing, I really mean it. Like, yo, you all right? How you doing? You good? Like, no, I'm good. I'm like, and sometimes they answer, you could tell it's something on their mind. And they're, well, how are you? I'm like, I'm about as good as you are right now, to be honest with you. Be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But I'll like, then I'll say something silly like, hey, it's better on Friday, though. Trust me on that. You know what I mean? Give them a little fist bump or whatever. Try my best to bring a smile to their face. And I'm successful 90% of the time. They'll look at me or whatever, maybe give a wink, maybe make a smile or whatever. Or if I'm watching them and the person in front of me was rude and this and that, I'll come up and say what I'm gonna say, man. Just this is a stranger, someone I don't know, but why not try to help that little, you know what I'm saying, little 35, 45-second interaction that can maybe help them, you know what I mean? Maybe change their day a little bit, man. Just the fact that I talk to them at all, because most people don't even look at you. They don't look you in the eye, man. They looking down, they walking around. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why you looking down like that? Do I gotta grab my thing? You creeping up on me? You know what I mean? Look, I did that show a long time ago, man. Eyes up, look up, say hello to people, make eye contact. I see you. How you doing? I see you. Even if you feel bad, if you do that, it'll make you feel better. That's one of my little cheat codes right there. It will make you feel better. You know what I mean? I see everybody showing love in the chat, man. That's what's up. Brother William, people are sad because of debt. That's another thing too, bro. That's another thing too. Who isn't saddled with debt? You know what I mean? Man, look, money comes and goes, and money can go fast, bro. Money can go fast. You'll be surprised how easy it is to spend $300,000. You know what I mean? So if you focus on that, you're gonna stay down instead of being focused on how you're gonna make the next 400,000. Right? So, but having debt is definitely gonna bring you down, man. Especially crushing debt. You out here in the real world, you got your little job and you making $65,000, but you have, $160,000 in student loans. That's crushing, bro. That is, and there's no, what's the answer for that? You know what I mean? Oh, Joe Biden's gonna pay my debt 10,000. All right, you got 155,000. That's worth the debt. Like, really, what's that? You know what I mean? So that's trying to sit there, and that goes back to people working so hard because they're focused on that. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. And you can't get rid of student loan debt through bankruptcy. That's a whole nother conversation. We ain't gonna get into that, y'all. That's a whole nother conversation, man. But that's what's up, brother Cody. That's true, DL. Some people go weeks with the positive with the positive interaction. Yeah, man, with or without it. People, I mean, I see it all the time, man. I like to go in and just holler at folks. I mean, even when I talk to women, if they're attractive women, and I get it. Initially, they're thinking this dude trying to holler at me. Then once they realize I'm really not trying to talk to them like that, I'm just trying to help brighten the moment, and they just light up. They just light up. It's like a little bit of the shield went down. They're like, oh, okay, and it's cool. I go my way and she go hers. Like, it's cool. Young fellas, you can't holler at everybody, bro. You just can't. You know what I mean? I understand that you running numbers, do what you do, but you know what I mean? It's just sometimes, you got to get yourself to a point where you realize, man, she doesn't need me hitting on her. Let me just say what's up. And guess what? You might bump into her again and she might holler at you. Right? So that's part of game too, bro. It's part of game too, but we ain't here to talk about game. Last good man in Jersey. Sadness is tied to the state of the world today and general pessimism. Over the last 20 years, there's been 9/11, recession, regular school shootings, and identity crisis. Easy to feel depressed. True. But I would argue, 20 years prior to that was just as bad. 20 years prior to that was just as bad, if not worse. I mean, you go back further and further in time, this is always going to be bad, bro. But I hear you though. I'm not pushing back. I just think, it's living today is still better than living in the 1950s or the 1890s or the 1500s. You see what I'm saying? It's just, you got to find a way, I think, you know what I mean? But that's what's up, bro. And brother Christopher, yeah, those tiny interactions can really make both their and your day. Yeah, man, listen, and I've told this story before, and I'm gonna tell it again because I like it. I was walking down the street in Miami. I was in Brickell, and it's me and this just very, very attractive young woman coming the other way. And y'all know I'm old. Like, I'm in my 50s, so everyone's young to me. She probably was in her 30s. She's coming the other way, and I would move to the left and she would move and match that, and we were just kind of doing one of these things where we ended up like, right face to face, nowhere to go. We were stuck, and she laughed about it and I laughed about it. She made like a little football move, and I said something to her. I don't know what I said, and I gave her a fist pump and she gave it back. She walked away smiling, and she looked back at me, and I walked away smiling, and I looked back at her. And quick side note, whenever you have an encounter with a beautiful woman, man, if she looks back, she really wants to holler at you. But I let it go, man. I caught her, I had it, and just threw it back in the ocean. Let it go. Just make sure my skills were still sharp. You know what I mean? I said some holla, 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 and it works. She looked back. But that was a cool encounter, man. It brings a smile to my face now just thinking about it. And I guarantee you it brings a smile to her face as well. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Brother Dino was saying U.S. Student debt 1.75 trillion and growing and growing. And Brother King Cole was like, without, sorry, yeah. That's what I thought you meant, bro. Weeks without a positive interaction. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant, bro. And so I ain't mad at you. Like, that's true, DL. Some people go weeks without a positive interaction. And that's true. And that's sad too, man. That's sad. Brother William, sadness through death. Certain losses seem like you can never bounce back from. Yeah, that's another one too. But that's more crushing, especially when you don't have family and close friends to support you through those times. And people don't have that because people don't go outside. People don't go outside. That's like a big problem. All right, Miss AKA lady is having a positive spirit is social currency. Yes, it is. So let's pull up this video real quick. We're all caught up with the chat. Let's pull up this video real quick. The I Have No Friends video. And again, this is It's Giving Growth podcast. Please go over and check her out. Like I said, she's gotten, she was like, 2,300, I think it was yesterday. She's at 3,002. Or, right now. So go check her out and support this young lady. Because her YouTube channel, and I've watched only a couple. I've watched maybe 40 minutes of her content, and I ain't gonna lie to you, she's pretty good. She gets into everything. So we're gonna check this out. And we can kind of talk about what I was seeing there. It's like it's a lot going on with these young people being unhappy. The sun's going down, y'all, so I gotta adjust the light. So it's a lot going on with these young people being unhappy, man. Let's check this out.
All loners. We're all in. So apparently we're all loners. We're all in the same struggle bus together. We're all collectively in a friendship recession. So today I want to talk about something millions of people can relate to, and that is the I have no friends trend. There are a bunch of reasons why people relate to this so much. Maybe you don't have any friends. Maybe you have people you hang out with, but you don't really feel connected to them. Or you want better quality friends. Or you have social anxiety and it's hard to make a doctor's appointment by yourself, let alone approach strangers to be friends. Whatever it is, this video is for you because I'm going to get into all of it. So
right off the rip, yo, I mean, you guys see what I was talking about. Here is a very attractive young woman. She talks like she is done with college, and she talks about a lot of financial stuff, being young out of school, trying to, like dealing with the real world and all that. But if she was sitting there talking to me in real life, which she probably wouldn't approach me. But if she, like I say, if a woman wants to talk to you, she'll put herself in your orbit. If she puts herself in my orbit, I would definitely say something. You know what I mean? Again, how you doing? Whatever. What's good? Make a comment about something she has on. Start the conversation. If she were to tell me I don't have any friends, I wouldn't believe that. Like, what? That doesn't make sense to me. You don't have any friends? I don't believe that. But maybe, like she said, there's so many people out there who, subscribe to this thing, just not having a friend.
First, I'm going to talk about the loneliness epidemic gripping the world right now, and then I'm going to share my personal story. So I've lost friends, I've had no friends, I've had bad friends, and I've been the bad friends, if we're keeping it real. And I'll leave you guys with the lessons I've learned through all of that, so definitely stay till the end. Also, if you're looking for a one-stop shop to better your mental health, your physical health, and your financial health, definitely hit the subscribe button because we are on a holistic wellness journey over here. And let's get into it. How many close friends do you have? If you were homeless tomorrow, who would open their doors for you? Who can you call after a bad day and not feel like you're burdening them? Who will always be there to pick you up from the airport? For a lot of people, that's no one.
And that right there is crazy. What she's saying right there, I mean, she said some stuff right there, like, who would open their doors to you? Now, if you're a young, beautiful woman, You'd be shocked how many people open their doors to you, ladies. Let's just keep it 100. Just keep it 100. You know what I mean? People will open your doors to you. For fellas, it's a little tougher. You know what I mean? Because again, there's that double standard that no one really likes to talk about. You know what I mean? And as a guy, I'll sleep in my car before I, you know what I mean? That's a lot of dudes have that same mentality. I know if I had friends that were struggling with whatever, I had a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, who was dealing with some craziness in the house. He was getting no peace. He was dealing with a modern woman. And, you know, just talking about it, whatever. And then, you know, I saw him like, what you doing, bro? Like, man, I ain't going home. I'm just going to stay in the car. I'm like, bro, man, here, man. I gave him the keys. Like, bro, you stay at my place, man. Here go the keys. You know what I mean? He had a 2 parking spots. We could park here. Everything. Like, bro, you good, man. Don't do that. Because men will suffer. And a lot of dudes, well, at least my generation, will suffer in silence. These days, you know, just like what Brother Christopher was saying, I mean, there's people out there just looking for points, so they don't suffer in silence anymore. They want you to know or whatever. It's like a clout thing, maybe. I don't know, but nah. Like, if you're a beautiful young lady, let's just keep it 100. You know, someone's gonna definitely let you come in. Now, you might not be asleep around that person. That person could be a weirdo. You gotta sit there, you know what I mean, sleep with a hammer or something because they might be trying some stuff. But generally speaking, people are gonna try to help you if you're a beautiful young woman, as opposed to being a young man. Let's see. Let's catch up with the chats real quick. Miss AKA lady, a lot of these gender wars are making relationships more difficult. That's a lot of companionship being lost. Facts. There's definitely a social war out there going on right now, is waging, and a lot of people are just getting KIA'd in this one. Facts. That is so true. So true, sis. Brother Christopher said, like, my boy sent me a message yesterday. Nothing better than an empty gym. I'm like, nah, bro. A gym full of hot females, way better. And next best is a gym full of cool guys you can kick it with. Yeah, man. I mean, look, there's a lot of dudes out here like the MGTOW guys and all this other kind of stuff and whatever. There's nothing like men and women, male and female, coming together and just silking it, having a good time. There's nothing like it, bro. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like the conversation, good conversation from, you know, the opposite sex. There's nothing like having a good, cool conversation with a dude, you know what I mean? And it's beautiful to have a great conversation with a woman who's a stranger. There's nothing better than that. But we're like, well, Miss AKA lady is saying we got this war, right? This gender war is pushing everyone further and further apart. Right? There's weapons being used, people getting hurt. You know, there's casualties out there, and these people are getting scarred to the point where they don't even want to try it again. And then you add in the layers of society and what society does to you. And I'm talking about the court system, and I'm talking about all this other kind of stuff, right? That's before we even get into the alternative stuff that's going on out there. You know what I mean? That Bud Light thing with that young kid, that Dylan guy, Dylan Mulvaney, I think his name is. Dude's out there doing this thing. There's people out there that outright hate him right now because some corporation came to him and wanted to give him some money. You know what I mean? They came to him. And everybody, you know what I mean? Not that I'm trying to defend little dude. I'm just saying. It's crazy. This war is pushing people further and further apart, and they're hurting. They're cutting people deep. You know what I mean? Brother William, no friends could be a real scumbag. She said that, though. She's like, she's been a bad friend. I thought that, too. I'm like, man, she might be the one, like that really scarred individual. But as I was listening to her, I'm like, I don't hear it. Again, you know, you don't know who you're dealing with. This is YouTube. You know what I mean? For me to make a real assessment, I would have to actually be in the same space with that person, be able to observe them, see how they get down. But yeah, Brother Will, for real, it could be that. You know what I mean? Brother Christopher, yeah, that's legit. Most people have acquaintances, not friends. Yes, I have a lot of acquaintances. A lot. And the funny thing is, some of the people that I consider acquaintances, they look at me as a full-blown friend, like one of their best friends. You know what I mean? I have my circle, my inner circle is very small. You know what I mean? Very, very small. You know what I mean? But it's, you know, it's layered up. You know what I mean? But I'm a social individual, and I go out here and I talk to folks, and I do what my father raised me to do. I treat people the way I want to be treated. It's that simple. It's that simple. I'm gonna treat you what's up. I'm gonna treat you with respect. If you come at me with something crazy, you come at me sideways, I just keep it moving. I ain't even mad at you. I don't want to be around that. People love that word energy. I don't want to be around that negative energy. All right, you stay over there. Shout out to Fresh and Fit. I still got to get that shirt. Myron Fresh, if y'all watching, save me one of those stay over there shirts, man. I need one. So stay over there. I don't need that. I'm feeling good right now. I don't want you to bring me down. Stay over there. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie to you, if you carry yourself in a certain way, like I'm looking at your mannerisms, I'm looking at the way that you're dressed, I'm looking at the way that you present yourself, I might stay over here like, nah, I'm good. I don't even want to. You might be the nicest person on the planet, but I'm just looking at your uniform. Like you wearing the uniform of somebody I don't want to deal with right now. I got that on the board. I call it social uniforms. Social uniforms, bro. If you wearing a uniform of a gangster, thugged out dude, pants all down, whatever, mean mugging, I ain't trying to be around you, bro. I'm gonna take you for what you present. You a thug, man. Stay over there, right? And ladies, if you over there, you looking like a 304, the real deal. Hair plastered all down, baby hair plastered, you know what I mean? Weave and all that kind of stuff. Or you a Latino, a Latina of Mexican descent, and you got your eyes all painted on and this, that, and the third, looking like a chola. Stay over there. I ain't got time for that. I don't want to deal with that. Stay over there. We are who we present as, right? You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Sister Candace, you like, yeah, hashtag stay over there. For real, for real. I ain't trying to deal with that. You know what I mean? And it goes across the board, man. Like you got all kind of people. Like if you looking like one of those stuck up rich kids, like, you know what I mean? Summer or Buffy or something like that, man, stay over there. You got your nose turned up at everybody, bro. I ain't trying. Don't come over here. Now again, I could be wrong. I'm judging books by their cover. But I'm like, bro. She got to judge books by their cover, don't you? How else you know if you want to read it or not? So it is what it is, man. Miss AKA lady, I am always cautious of people who have no friends. Yes. But if you have one or three completely solid people in your life, you're blessed. Facts. But I think there is a growing segment of our population, of our community. And by I say our community, I mean Americans who don't have any friends. They again, remember, they didn't go outside. They don't know how to make friends. And they're all, on their phones and on their computers and whatnot. They're in the AI world, you know what I mean? Like the VR world, I'm sorry. They're in the VR world. They really don't have friends. Like my daughter's friends are all virtual. They're all over the country, all over the world. I'm like, dude, who's that person? Where's that person? She's like, I don't know. She don't see them in real life, but she got her core group at school. I mean, she got her girls. She got like 3 or 4. They cool. She got that in real life, and I'm so happy they have meetups and sleepovers and stuff like that. I'm so happy that she has that. But it's probably kids out there that never even got that, so they don't know how to be social. They're socially awkward. I can see that, yo. I can see that. Casual Germs in the house. What's good, fam? Gym full of supportive gym bros. Yep. Sus gym women. That's just fine. Hey, man, y'all, when I go to the gym, I go to work out, bro. I go to work out, man. I'm in there. I got my hat on. I got my hat down low. I got my earphones on. I got another pair of Bluetooth headphones. I got those on. I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm out of there, bro. I'm in there like 45 minutes, bro. Boom, I'm out. I don't even holler at nobody in there, man. Just keeping it 100. I'm out. Now, if people come up to me, of course, I'm going to talk to them or whatever. But I see that interaction, dudes trying to get on and the girls in there trying to thirst trap and the dudes. I see all that, man. I want nothing to do with any of that. I'm just trying to work out. You know what I mean? If I see you sitting on the machine I'm trying to get on, I'm not even going to ask you, bro. I'm going to work on something else, man. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I can always do push-ups and sit-ups, bro. I can do squats, man. I'm going to go do something else. Go run. I get on a treadmill, get on the stairs. I'm that dude, man, because it's crazy in there, man. It's just the way our society is right now, man. You just don't know what you're gonna get, man. I ain't trying to do that in the gym. I ain't trying to do that. If I catch you in the real world, it's different. I catch you out here in the trenches. I catch you out here in no man's land, it's different. But in the gym, I'm gonna respect your spot, man. Go ahead and do you. Again, you come up to me, it's cool. I'm gonna holler at you. I'm not gonna be rude. I'll take my headphones off. Hey, what's going on? What's up? What's up? All right. Male or female, I'm cool with it. I'm in and out of there. I got some military tats on a lot. Sometimes they see that and they'll come over. There's a lot of military folks, Air Force over here, some Army people too. But they'll come over. A lot of vets over here. They'll, what I mean, they see my wings or something like that. They'll come over and we'll chop it up. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I'll leave it alone. You know what I mean, brother Chris? I judge people by what movie poster they have behind them in their YouTube videos, snatch number one movie. Hey, man, that's my joint, bro. You crazy, man. Appreciate that, though, man. That's my joint, though, bro. What do I know about diamonds? That's my joint. There's so many great one-liners in that movie, man. And I'm a big fan of Rock and Roller, too. I like Guy Ritchie, bro. I think I've enjoyed every Guy Ritchie movie he's ever made. But Snatch by far is my favorite. Brother Cody, man. The cover is exactly how we decide if the book is worth reading. Exactly, bro. Brother Doug, I'm good with meeting women in the gym. Yes, a lot of dudes who are, man. I don't do that. But man, everybody got their own, everybody move the way they move, man. You ain't got to move like me. I ain't got to move like you. I ain't mad. It works for people. Go ahead and do it. I'm just, I just don't do that. Miss AK, hey lady, see, that's why I go out of my way to recreate my childhood with my kids. We go to the park, library, play in dirt, children's church. I want them to be grounded to reality. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I can't fault that in any way, shape, or form. I think you're on to something there, sis. You're doing it right. Brother Doug DL, how you said earlier, how you speak to people, I use that same principle in the gym. Yeah, it works, man. That's universal, man. That works, man. You know what I mean? Treat people the way you want to be treated, man. So, treat everybody with respect and all that kind of stuff, man. You know what I mean? Do what Miss AKA lady says, man. If you hurt, don't only bleed on the person who cut you, bro. Don't bleed on anybody else. You know what I mean? And Miss AKA lady, do I have that phrase down right? Am I saying that properly? Don't bleed on the wrong people. Let's continue with the video.
A loneliness epidemic going on right now, and people are finally talking about it. All over YouTube, people of all ages are talking about how they don't have friends. And these are not highly produced videos. I'm talking about people ranting to their phone camera in their car and having millions of people who relate to them when they say they don't have anyone close who they can talk to, turn to. In a world that's obsessively on social media to connect with people, we ironically are super isolated. In a culture that obsesses over finding love, we ironically don't have friends. And that is heartbreaking because researchers have found that people who had satisfying friendships were happier, had fewer health problems, and even lived longer. And people with weak social ties were often linked to depression and cognitive decline as they aged. And that sucks to hear because it often feels like making friends is harder than solving physics equations.
And if I were talking to this young woman right here, I would tell her, like, look, man, making friends is easy, bro. It ain't hard at all. But again, you're dealing with the generations of children. They're grown-ups now. They never got an opportunity to fail. And now they're deathly afraid to fail. Even if it means going up and trying to make a friend or just meet somebody, they don't know how to do it. When they were showing that quick clip of all of people making these videos talking about they don't have any friends in their set, I didn't see anyone that looked like a weirdo. And all that quick little montage there, I didn't see anyone that looked like a weirdo. This young lady doesn't look like a weirdo. She sounds like she's socially calibrated. Like, what do you mean you don't have any friends? Right now, that's when it's like, maybe it's you, shorty. But I'm starting to believe that these kids don't have mommy and daddy there to say, hey, here's your new friend. Here's your new group. Here's your team. These kids never got a chance to do it. Now they're grown-ups when they're out there in the real world and they don't know how to do it because they're dealing with all the other generations. They don't know how to come up to a Gen Xer and try to befriend them. They don't realize all they got to do is sit down and be cool. You know what I mean? Somebody comes up and say, hey, how you doing? It's not enough to just nod. You got to say something. You know what I mean? You got to say something. They don't know when you walk into the room, you see a bunch of folks there and it's close quarters. Hey, how you doing? How y'all doing? Y'all good? All right. That's all you got to do. If you don't do that, people are going to be like, oh, you stuck up, right? So now they stuck. These young kids are trying to integrate themselves in a world that has other generations who aren't like them. And I think they're failing. I think they are failing. It's crazy. That's what it is. Don't bleed on those who didn't cut you. Thank you, Miss AK lady. That's the one. I ain't gonna mess it up. Lady Navo's in the house. What's good, love? Always good to see you. I'm working, moderating. Y'all believe all day. Ella, y'all believe all day. Yeah. I know y'all. We're gonna get you over here tomorrow, girl. What's good? Says always a pleasure to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Hope all is well on your end. See how that works, y'all? If I had the young kids, that's what I would tell them. Just say hi. Just say hi to everybody in the room. I see you. What's good? How you doing? You know what I mean? Old school people tell you when their parents would be like, hey, how you doing? How your mama doing? That was standard greeting. How you doing? How your mama doing? I see you over there. What's up, boy? Standard. Everybody knew everybody. Knew the milkman, knew the mailman, knew the truck drivers, knew the mechanics. Everybody on the block knew everybody. We don't live like that anymore. Everyone's isolated now. And it wasn't the pandemic's fault. People were isolating themselves, isolating their kids, not getting out there socializing. And it's caught up with this generation. That's what I think is going on. Let's continue.
Especially in adulthood. I've always heard people say if you're an adult, if you've graduated high school or college, you can probably count your close friends on one hand, if you're lucky. And if you can relate to that struggle, you're not alone in experiencing this. I'm right there with you. There have been very few times in my life where I've had a close friend. Let alone friends, plural. Just one close friend was always really hard to find and keep. I've always had.
Why? That's what I would want to delve into. Little sis, why? Why was it so hard? What was it? What happened? You know what I mean? Again, it's like, all right, put that mirror in front of you. Was it this person that kept you from meeting friends? No, okay, then what's going on? What it is? You know, a lot of people get sucked into believing what others are saying. They get caught in, by the haters and whatnot, right? That bad energy. A lot of times that's what happens. They get sucked in to that. And they don't know. Like they get sucked in. I remember when I was in middle school, man, it was just one of the cheerleaders, man, cute. Now, we was in the hood, so it wasn't like no picturesque movie type thing. It's just, you know what I mean? Crest Hills Elementary in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was football players. And one of the cheerleaders had a crush on me, right? And word got back to me that she had a crush on me. Cute little girl, man. Nice, sweet as she can be. Right? I didn't know that till much later. So I told my homeboy, one of my dudes on the team, yeah, man, she got a crush on me, da-da-da. He started telling me how bad she is. She's this, she's that, da-da-da, man, stay away from her, whatever. We was 8th graders. And y'all know how the story ends. He had a crush on her. So he basically got me, got me out of the picture. And this is before I had any game. This was Little Saint. I ain't have any game. This was when I was learning. This was one of the experiences that got me put on the game. You know what I mean? Because he wanted to make a run at her. And, he messed around with her for a little bit or whatever. But I learned that in the 8th grade. Something like that might have happened to little shorty in college. And then she's like, well, I'm going to stay away from everybody. I don't have any close friends, da-da-da. Those close friendships are forged through some sort of fire, some sort of activity, either on the same team or, you know what I'm saying? Y'all done had drama together or y'all had to fight somebody together or, you know what I mean? It's normally forged through something. So you're not going to have a BFF if y'all ain't got no history. Y'all got to go through something. And these kids ain't allowed to go through nothing. And I believe that's what the problem is. Personally, that's what I think it is. Miss AKA lady, and they're living through filters. Yes, they are. A lot of people can't even post a pic without a filter. No real self-love. Let's keep it 100. We're talking about women. I don't know any dudes that use filters. If I see a dude using a filter and I know him, he getting clowned. You hear me? He getting clowned. Ain't no filters here. This is what I look like when I roll out of bed. Ain't no filters here. My filter might be a hat. That's my filter. Some sunglasses. So yeah, we talking about women, man. And it's people that you using filters because you really don't like the way you look. I don't understand the obsession with filters. That's gonna be another show, y'all. Y'all gonna have to help me understand that. Brother Dino, must be homeschooling, brother DL. Yeah, must be, man. Must be. Let's continue with the video.
had acquaintances, coworkers, people who I saw and hung out with, but I never felt a deep connection. I never felt like they actually got me and I got them. The conversations were kind of shallow and not deep and nutritional and nourishing. I always felt like there was a bigger piece missing. A real, true friend, someone who I could lean on and trust and call from jail if I needed to, and who wouldn't judge me and who I can eyes closed say they would always have my back. Not
That's her problem right there. My best friends judge the hell out of me to this day, and I love them for it. Judge me, tell me when I'm wrong. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. She's talking about stuff, and that's what it is. True friendship comes through some sort of struggle, and that's what she's talking about right here. There was no struggle. How you gonna have a good friend? You want somebody you can call to come bail you out of jail? Man, call a lawyer. You don't need a friend. You gonna She can call me if she get locked up. Call me. I'll put some money on your books. I probably won't come down because you're going to get an OR bond. And for those who don't know, that's another show. You know what I mean? So there is no struggle. She didn't have anybody that she went through the storm with. You know what I mean? She ain't had nobody that went through that gauntlet with her. That's what it is. That's where it comes from. And I think Miss AKA Lady is on to something with the filters. It's like, even in real life, they have real life filters. They're not going to expose who they really are to you. People are scared of it. I don't care if you judge me, man. Say what you want to say, bro. I don't care. I've never cared. When I was a kid, like I said, I was a savage. I didn't care. I said, man, I look back on the stuff like, I don't know why nobody was my friend. To be 100 with you, I was a savage. The things I did, the things I said. So I was so what's the word, y'all? I was an asshole, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It was all about me. I was inconsiderate. You know what I mean? I ain't do nothing less than benefited me. I was horrible. I was horrible, but I had cousins that had to be around me. We blood, they couldn't leave. And then I made friends who went through drama with me. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why she's yeah, that's why she's having trouble. They don't know what it takes to have a true friendship. That's what it is. Sister Candace, filters equals seeking validation from others. Yeah. Yep. Very true, Candace. That's Miss AKA Lady. Yep. You got it. You know what I mean? And Brother Cody is keen as Sister Candace. Same opinion of makeup. Hey, makeup. Woo. Yeah. I think we touched on that some back in the day. I say back in the day, we've been doing this a little over a year, but I think we talked about makeup and stuff. Do we have to do a show on makeup, y'all? Should we do a show on why? You know what? Maybe we should. I'm gonna have to find a woman to come on here and actually talk about the whole makeup thing. Because guys don't wear makeup. And Sister Candace at Cody, I don't even wear makeup. Never have. My face is my face. There is no substitute for natural beauty. I will push back, Sister Candace. I know you're putting on some Vaseline on the lips or something, some lip balm, maybe a little bit of lipstick. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm sure you've done that, right? But I get what you're saying. You're talking about the full on making yourself into a whole nother person. Makeup, I tell you what, man, I've never been a fan of makeup, man. Not heavy makeup. I love natural beauty. I love it. I absolutely do love it. Let's continue with the video.
having even just one person like that in the entire world is tough. It feels really lonely. I remember a few years ago, it was around the time of my birthday, and I remember realizing that I was getting more into my 20s and I didn't have a group of people, who were my tribe. I remember crying because it felt like I was going to go through my whole 20s and not have a close group of girlfriends.
I'm listening to her. She should have joined the Army Reserve or National Guard, the military. Because you're going to go through something called basic training. You go through basic and you go through your advanced training. You go through what in the Army they call AIT, Advanced Individual Training. You're going to have buddies. You're going to have that friendship, that what she's looking for, that bond. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. There's guys I went through basic training where I could call today. I ain't seen them in like 40 something years. I could call them today. They'll be like, what's up? If they find this YouTube channel, they'll be like, what's up? You know what I mean? And they called me Saint in basic training. What's up, St. Louis? What's up, Saint? They would hit me up, and if they needed me, they know I'm there for them. That was basic. AIT, same thing. And then when you get to your unit, that's when you really, these kids need to do that, man. It's back to my call. Everybody should have to join the military. And she could have joined the reserve, National Guard or something like that. You know what I mean? So you go to basic training one summer, come back, go home. Then the next time you go to AIT, you're going to make friends. You're going to see the word a little bit different. So yeah, man, I don't think she went through nothing. Her tribe, her people. What's she talking about? What tribe? You know what I mean? Like I said, she's a dime. But you mad because you ain't got other dimes wanting to holler at you? I don't know. You know what I mean? Miss AK, hey lady, brother Cody is king. I would say so in a lot of situations, but if you're going somewhere really nice, I consider it more of a accessory. Yeah, I ain't mad at you. Just a little bit of makeup. We talking about the people who be putting it on heavy. Sister Candace, no wigs, weaves, lead press on nails, BBLs, etc. I feel you. Just keep, like I said, natural. Brother Dinosaur, she comes over far too needy. Facts, bro. But she's a youngin' though. Again, she's young. Not to make excuses for her, but I get it. I've talked to young males to sound just like her. Will drain you to zero with her problems. Yeah. I mean, that kind of moves into the whole game thing. And that's, I'm not going to say it. But dudes who got real game know what I'm thinking. I'm not going to say it because there's no place in this particular conversation for it. But let's just say women like this to a player, somebody who got game, it's food. It's food. You know what you're doing. It's food. Sister Candace, if you can't leave the house without makeup on, you need help. Makeup should be used to accentuate one's beauty situationally, not change the landscape of one's face. Facts. I agree with you 100%. Casual Germ, the brotherhood runs deep. Yeah, it does. Let's get back to the video.
People who would come over and pop a bottle of champagne after my promotion or show up with a box of pizza and wine after a breakup. I really wanted that. Graduating college was a huge eye-opener for me because the people who I was seeing daily moved all across the country to get jobs, and I kind of lost touch with them. Also, I realized that the girls who I hung out with the most were the girls who I partied with the most. And when I graduated and got a job, I realized that we actually had nothing in common besides drinking together on Friday nights at frat parties. And when I had...
She just told on herself. You hang out with shallow people, man. You hanging out with people that are incapable of having true solid friendships, man, because they don't love themselves. You got to love yourself first. Right? We graduated from college and people moved all over the place, man. I graduated from AIT, got to my unit, and we were literally all over the world. But it didn't matter. You want to see somebody for 2-3 years. Then boom, you get orders to go to Korea. You get there on the ground. It's like, oh man, there's Schamberger. I ain't seen you in a minute. What's good? You know what I mean? Oh man, there's Thomas. What's good, man? I ain't seen you since basic training. It was like we never were apart. You got to go through something, young people. True friendships are forged through some sort of hardship, be it 2-a-days for baseball or basketball or football, or be it, I don't know, what do ladies do? Volleyball practice, swim practice. You know, maybe she wasn't an athlete. It's forged through some sort of hardship. Right? That's where it comes from. That's where that brotherhood, that sisterhood is. To be able to push each other and lean, you know what I mean? Like Bubba and Forrest Gump. You lean, I'm gonna lean up against your back. You lean right back up against mine. That way we don't have to sleep with our heads in the mud. Simple stuff like that. Bubba and Forrest Gump were going through basic training. And what did Forrest Gump say? Bubba is my best good friend. Because they went through something together. Right? Young people out there, if you're watching this, you got to go through something. The person you go through that something with, and y'all push each other and y'all make it through and y'all succeed together, that's where you find that friendship, that true friendship. That's where it's found. That's how you forge it. Right? And again, these young people, everybody gets a trophy. So they don't understand adversity. They don't understand having to push through, having to persevere. They don't understand that. I think that's what it is. They don't get it because mommy and daddy in this new society has made it so easy for them. Maybe that's what it is, y'all. Maybe that's what it is. You know what I mean? Look, and brother Cody saw it too. She's a party girl. Yeah, she's a party girl. You know what I'm saying? There is no loyalty amongst party people. There is. I just told you a story about a dude in 8th grade who threw me under the bus so he could get some chick that wasn't even into him, that he had a crush on her. So these party girls, yeah, you better not tell them any secrets, so they're gonna tell whoever, because again, this is an attractive woman. Dudes trying to get at her. Dudes are trying to get at her. You know what I mean? At least she's still young and she realized where she went wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe she realizes it. And I say that because maybe she's not out there partying, you know what I mean, out there smashing. She could be. I don't know. Again, I wouldn't be able to tell unless I can interact with that person. You know what I'm saying? But I'm wondering, was she taking an invite to a boat party? Would you come to the yacht party? I wonder. Miss AKA lady, going through things also can test a friendship. A good relationship will be better for it. Absolutely. Or let you know that person really ain't got you like that. Absolutely. I agree. Let's continue with the video.
Social media. I actually just did a video on why I quit social media, but when I had Instagram, I would go on and see groups of girls having brunch together and groups of guys at bars. When it was someone's birthday, that person's Instagram story would have like 20 slides of people gassing them up and wishing them happy birthday. And like every other week, I would see someone getting married and having like 8 bridesmaids by their side. And I was always like, damn, where do you get these people? Like, you get that on Amazon? How do you have so many close girlfriends? Well, I'm out here trying to get like one. It's tough to see because you feel like, where are mine? Is there something wrong with me? Like, am I not fun to be around? Also,
yeah, we're gonna have to leave it there because we got another part I want to get into. But yeah, I'm starting to see after, you know, it's about the 3rd time I've watched this. Yeah, shorty. Yeah, it might be a you party, a you problem, yo. It might be you. It might be you. Again, that's something I could work with. Like, you have to, you know, you got to interact with them, see what's going on. You might be the person that comes in not smiling. You might be the person that don't say hi to folks. You might be the person that everybody's like, she thinks she all that. And and that might not be the case. You might not think you're all that. That's how you've always moved. Yeah. We might have to do a part 2 on her video because it's 16 minutes. It's take me 2 or 3 hours to get through the whole thing. But when I look at this, it's like, these young folks, they really do need somebody to talk to. And it could be an easy fix with her. Like, well, all you got to do is this. Be a little more open, maybe invite someone from the office to come out. Again, that's tough. That's a tough environment. There's a lot of men who are standoffish too. That's probably a part of it right there. That's probably a part of it. There's like, let's say she's working in the corporate world. Most of the men in the corporate environment today are going to stay away from women, especially if those women are attractive. They're going to stay away. They don't want to say the wrong thing and find themselves standing before the man in HR. So, and she's thinking, why don't anybody invite me out? They don't know you like that. And if you're not interacting well with the women, if the women ain't talking to you, you're not going to get the invite. It could be that dudes are going to stay away, especially in the corporate environment. And, you know, they're not going to, since you stand away, you're not going to get that social circle going. That could be a thing for this woman. But in general, I mean, she has workout videos. She's clearly in a gym. I don't talk to people in the gym, but dudes are talking, you know, if she was in the gym with Brother Doug, I'm pretty sure Brother Doug would go up and say hi. You know what I mean? Brother Chris probably go up and say hi. So she can make friends. There must be something that she's reflecting that people are all standoffish about. Like, I don't know about her. There's something, you know what I mean? It's not her physicality. Like, you look at it, she's very attractive. She's not wearing a ton of makeup. I can see someone, but it's not like a ton. It's appropriate. I mean, she got the big hoop earrings on. Some people say bad things about hoop earrings. I don't. but some people do. You know what I mean? Miss AKA lady, see, be cautious of folks who don't have friends. You're right, love. You're right. Be cautious of folks who don't have friends. It doesn't mean they are bad people. You just got to find out more about them. But it's a flag for me. Yeah, it's a big old red communist flag for me, too. You know what I mean? Yeah, brother Cody is king. Hoops? Yeah, she got hoops on, bro. You know what I mean? Brother Dinosaur. Looks to be a crowd follower with no conversational skills like most youth. Good point, bro. That could be it. That could be it. You know what I mean? And is it like that on the other side of the pond over there, bro? Is it pretty much the same? I'm gonna say it is. I think it is. I mean, I think Americans and Brits are pretty much the same. It's just, y'all talk funny or we talk funny, depending on which side of it you on. You know what I mean? Brother Doug, round the way girl. I don't think she's an around the way girl, bro. I don't think she is. She doesn't have that grittiness to her, at least on this video. I wouldn't say she's around the way girl. I would say she's one of those protected young women. They got into college and she fell in with the party girl scene and she was doing her thing, bro. I'm not saying she was run through, but I'm just saying. I'm thinking she was getting that kind of attention. Going to frat parties, she was getting that kind of attention. Hanging out with the frat girls, the party girls. I mean, you rolling with the 304s. I'm sorry, man. You're going to be doing 304 stuff. And I ain't got a problem with it. You know what I mean? Hope she kept it in the closet where it belongs and no one can ever find it. You know what I mean? Brother XFO's in the house. What's good? He's laughing about the hoops. You know what I mean? Brother Jason Johnson in the house. What's good, fam? How you feeling? Miss AKA lady, who hating on hoops? Hey, who's gonna tell Miss AKA lady what it is with the hoops, man? Who's gonna tell her? I'm not. I'm telling y'all now. I ain't telling this. That is not this kind of episode. I'm not saying nothing. Brother Cody, you gonna handle that? You know what I mean? Who gonna tell Miss AKA lady about the hoops, y'all? She's, you know what I mean? She's like, wait, what does hoops mean? yeah. Lord, is that thought where now? Too many rules. LOL. Yes. What does that mean? Yeah. it's thought where. Hey, what are you gonna do, man? If they take your stuff, man. Yeah, and that's what Brother Doug was saying. The hoop earrings made me think of LL Cool J. I need a round the way girl. What all I need is an around the way girl. Round the way girl. Classic LL Cool J. Let's watch a couple more minutes of this, and then we're gonna jump over into this one article I want you guys to see.
Also, when I had Instagram friends. Like, I would have girls who would comment under my pics, I would comment under theirs, we'd watch each other's stories. But then after I quit using social media, none of those people reached out to me. And I realized we only had an online kind of artificial relationship. Like, they didn't actually care that much about me as a person.
Yes, love. That's exactly it. It's not real. It's internet. It's not real. Young people, the internet world is not the real world. Let me say that one more time. The internet world is not the real world. I got to get another button. One of those old school Navy. They about to give you an announcement. Now hear this. Now hear this. The internet world is not the real world. The real world is outside. You got to get outside to get a taste of the real world. You see what I mean? I mean, yes, she's going to have some issues. Ooh, there's a little bit of crazy eyes going on right there, y'all. Y'all see that? A little bit of crazy eyes. Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit. Crazy eyes jumping off. I would absolutely talk to this young lady and like love to ask her some questions and delve into it. Like, yo, she can give me some firsthand examples and I can kind of tell her, like, well, this is what I think. You know what I mean? But that internet stuff ain't real. It ain't real. I say it all the time. I love y'all. I love the support. I love everybody to come through here. This is great. But I'm not going to stop until I meet you in person. Once I meet you in person, I'm like, all right, we people now. We cool. Once I see you in person. That's why I was so happy to go down to Miami for the Fresh and Fit 1 million subscriber party. Man, I got to meet Dr. B. You know what I'm saying? I got to meet everybody. It was so many people I met I just used him because I know he was in here tonight. He popped in real quick and we kicked it. We broke bread. You know what I mean? King Life. We kicked it. We broke bread. You know what I mean? A lot of the people from Tampa, these young brothers that are down with the new Templars, all fresh and fit cats. I met them down there. You know what I mean? So the real world is outside. The real world is not in here. You know what I mean? XFO is like, yeah, W hoops. Look at Miss AK like, I reject hoop slander. Here's what it is, baby. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. Nothing wrong with hoops, Miss AK. Like, yeah, we like the hoops. We like the hoops. Brother Dino, I was at a funeral 2 weeks ago and the grandson was kicking lumps of clay into his grandmother's coffin. What? The family were telling me to let him be. Wow. Yeah, I don't understand that. That's not good, bro. That's that's not good. There's something behind that, bro. You know what I mean? That's something behind that. Why I got no friends. Like Odious King, yeah, a little show you got. So yeah, like I said, a couple more minutes and we're gonna wrap this up because I want to show you guys an article I found, and it's a really good article about this topic right here.
I don't even think most of them realized I was gone. So after going through a lot of struggles and friendships, I've learned a lot. Here are some things that I've learned and that I just wish I knew. The first lesson I learned was you need to define what a friend means to you. What kind of values are you looking for? If I didn't concretely know what I wanted and what I was not accepting, anyone was being let in the door. There were people I used to hang out with who would always talk shit about others behind their backs. They were always involved in drama or gossip, people who just called me to like emotionally dump on me. But just because they were nice to me, I was okay with being friends with them. When really I should have known better and set my standards and boundaries way higher. So know what.
The stuff that she's talking about now, I know a lot of young people do that. When it comes to friendships, this is just my take on it. When it comes to friendships, when it's forged through some trials and tribulations and they stick through, you know what you got. You can't sit back and like, well, I have this 5-point formula that's going to let me know that you're going to be a good friend. So when you have these people who are associates and they're calling you and all they do is call and it's all about me, then you know, like, man, I don't take them calls no more. Don't take it personal. But you're like, you're going to be my friend. You know, the way she's looking at this is the way I think a lot of people look at relationships. They have this notion in their head that this is what this person is going to be to me, and I'm going to make it happen, and they're going to be that person. And it turns out they're not, but you're already 100% in, right? You got to vet friends, yo. And it's not like something that you consciously do. You just see who's still around, right? You go through the trials and tribulations and you see who comes up, who gets out the dirt with you, who was there pulling you and pushing you when you need it, and you were pulling them and pushing them. These young kids, man, they got a formula for everything. It's just, that's not how it works, man. What's the word they like to use? Organic? Yeah, it'll be organic. You will just realize, like, they'll both be like, oh, no, we cool. It'll be organic. You know what I mean? It might start because y'all have 10 classes in a day and y'all in eight of them, y'all in 8 of the same classes. It might start like that. I got my buddy Bill Prather, one of my good friends. He's still in LA. We met doing open mics, like signing up for open mics and going to different comedy spots to do comedy. We started comedy at the same time, and we would see each other at the same spots. Like, they go do it again. He was saying the same thing about me. They go do it again. But we were watching, and here's the thing about stand-up comedy, y'all. If y'all ever want to get into stand-up comedy, you start doing open mics, you're gonna meet some of the weirdest people that ever lived on planet Earth. It is what it is. So Prather and I was just sit back and watch these weirdos. And then one night we were at Dublin's. This is when Dublin's was on Sunset. That song Jay-Z had when he said bubbling in Dublin's, with that nightclub had the best comedy show in the world at the time, hands down. The biggest comics you see today came up through that show and all that. So one night at Dublin's, we were both at the bar, and he was like, hey, I saw you at the open mic at Comedy Store. I'm like, yeah, I seen you, bro. What's up? Introduced Star Sales. We've been friends ever since, man. I was something 15 years ago. Just cool. You know what I mean? I know what I can count on Prather for. He know what he can count on from me. We've done business together. We've done a lot in the comedy space. That's how it works. Wasn't let me pull out my checklist. You know what I mean? Does he do this? It wasn't none of that. We went through the gauntlet, was just the first stages of comedy together. That's a gauntlet for real. And on the other side, we just stayed cool, and we still cool to this day. You know what I mean? If I'm in LA, like, I'll go holler at him. If he's out here, I'll go, he'll holler at me. It's just, we cool like that. And it's not just Pray. There's a few others. We all went through that together. We came up together. There is no checklist. That's weird. That is weird. I'm gonna stop this video right here. I'm not gonna continue on with that, but I do want to do this one last part. This article that I found, causes of unhappiness. All right, we're gonna look at this, y'all. Causes of unhappiness. 8 major causes of unhappiness. Why everyone is so unhappy. This is from trackinghappiness.com. Right. And this came out January 29th of this year. And definitely going to check that out. Let's see. Let's jump over here. Miss AKA Lady, it takes time to vet. It does. I need to be with you in several different situations for me to feel comfortable enough to call you a friend. Facts. I'm with you on that. Brother Dinosaur, have you watched Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, brother? I have. That was dark. Everyone was telling me to watch that too. Hollywood loved that film. Joaquin did a great job. That was dark. That Joker right there. He did an excellent job taking on Joker, man. He did an excellent job. I did see that, bro. Yeah, that movie was good. That movie was good. Brother Cody, I thought the movie was trash. Nah, bro, that movie was good. I mean, it's just the whole, delving into that dude, like how he, like Joker, how he became Joker, and just being dumped on and beat up on, and just being considered weak and all this other kind of stuff, and everything he wound up doing. Like that whole movie, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I was like, ooh. And I think that movie drew me in because I know people like that in real life. I know folks like that. They're like right there on the edge. All they need is a little nudge, just a little nudge, and then they're gonna go full Joker. You know what I mean? That's why I like that movie. But yeah, I saw that, bro. That's funny. The next Joker film is a musical with Lady Gaga. Man, you cannot be serious, bro. You cannot be serious right now, man. I hope that's a joke. So it is. I'm gonna drop this in the chat as well, because this thing touched on a lot of stuff that we were touching on, and you guys can go and read this at your leisure. But it definitely touched on a lot of stuff that we were touching on here. So unhappiness or sadness is a part of life. Everyone experiences unhappiness once in a while, but if it seems like you're unhappy all the time, what causes your unhappiness? And this is kind of, let me make this a little bigger. See it there. Research seems to show that unhappiness and happiness is caused by patterns in our lives, patterns in how the things we do, which are called behavior patterns, and patterns in the things we think, which are called cognitive patterns. Different behavioral and cognitive patterns lead to different emotional patterns, which are part of what determines how happy we feel from day to day. So this is one of those kind of articles, man. They go into the whole hows and whys and all this kind of stuff. But I wanted to skip down here. Behavior patterns that lead to unhappiness, right? I just want to skip down, like staying indoors, right? We talked about this, right? Staying indoors. There's more than one good reason to leave the house. For example, did you know that spending time in nature is scientifically proven to increase happiness? Recognizing the fact has never been more important than today, when so many of us spend more time indoors. Facts. And I, we were saying that when we were going, talking about why people are so unhappy. People who do spend more time in nature tend to report being generally happier And studies show that spending time outdoors increases cognitive functioning, improves your immune system, and reduces stress and blood pressure. All things that help contribute to being happy. Right. And we were talking about that. Isolating yourself. There's another good reason not to spend too much time at home. Humans are social beings. It's one of the main ways we deal with stress. Facts. Right. And yet, only about half of Americans experience meaningful in person interactions on a daily basis. In some parts of Europe, up to 40% of people have only one meaningful interaction with friends or family per month. Like this right here, this is the big one right here, yo. Isolating yourself. The pandemic had everyone isolating themselves. Right? Humans are social creatures. And it says only about half of Americans experience meaningful in-person interactions. That's crazy. Only half experience. Half of Americans experience meaningful in-person interactions on a daily basis. In some parts of Europe, up to 40% of people have only one meaningful interaction with friends or family per month. Maybe that's why they're so happy in France and the UK. We saw that earlier. Hey, bro, that's crazy. Social isolation leads to feelings of loneliness and boredom, which can both cause severe unhappiness. In fact, one article from the American Psychological Association links social isolation with adverse health consequences, including depression, poor sleep quality, impaired executive functions, accelerated cognitive decline, poor cardiovascular function, and impaired immunity at every stage of life. That's how important it is to not be isolated. That's how important it is to go outside, man, and go interact with some folks. That's how important it is to go to the gym. That's how important it is to go out to the local salsa spot and go out and dance. That's how important that is. It could literally change your life. And that comes from the people who study such things. You know what I mean? Excessive drinking and drugs. Okay, so it's like, what? No way. Alcohol is fun. It sure is. Well, yes and no. Alcohol and drugs, including cannabis, can cause a person to be less inhibited and experience short-lived feelings of happiness. But in the long run, they both can negatively impact your happiness. Yeah, we get that. We get that. Like if you're going to abuse alcohol and drugs, like, yeah, I've never seen a crack addict happy. Just gonna tell you that. I've seen them act happy. I've seen them fake and do happy things, but they're addicted. I've never seen a person addicted to heroin happy. Never, because they know they're addicted. You know what I mean? It's what they're saying makes complete sense to me. I think everybody here agrees with it. Alcoholism and drug dependency can lead to some seriously negative consequences, of course. Fatigue and decreased energy, feelings of guilt, difficulty concentrating and making decisions, feelings of pessimism, insomnia, irritability, loss of appetite, and physical pain. Facts. I don't think no one's going to push back on that. It's probably okay to have a glass or two of wine with dinner or a few beers with friends. But if the next day you find yourself feeling unhappy, stressed, or anxious, it may be time to reevaluate your behavior. Yeah, you have a few beers with friends so long as it's not Bud Light. You know what I mean? You can have a few beers with friends so long as it's not Bud Light. Boom, boom. But no, we get it. You don't want to drink too much. People get that. I mean, it's like anything else, yo. It's bad for you. As grown-ups, we should know what's bad for us. And you shouldn't have to have someone tell you drinking till you pass out every night is not a good thing, which it is not. Not sleeping enough and not sleeping regularly. This one, I mean, in the military, we certainly didn't sleep a lot, but we were on a mission. So I don't know. It didn't make people unhappy like that. Once the mission was over, we got plenty of sleep. There are so many ways there are so many ways that sleep is important for your happiness. Doctors recommend between 7 and 9 hours of sleep, and for good reason. When you don't get enough sleep, your brain can't regulate itself properly, and your emotions can start to go wild and take over. While the science may be complex, the evidence is clear. People who get adequate sleep tend to feel happier. I didn't know that. This effect of sleep on happiness was personally tested here on this blog as well. So yeah, there's people, I mean, especially when you get into when you're talking about feelings like that, man. Like if you're an emotional person to begin with, yeah, man, you're definitely gonna want to get that sleep. You definitely want to get that. You don't want to be irritable. You don't want to be snapping at people, whatever. That's gonna hurt you from getting friends. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely want to look at that. Uh, yeah, man, y'all tripping. Dino Dinosaur is tripping. Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn trailer out as teaser. I'm about to look that up, bro. Lady Gaga, man, that's scary. I won't. I'm that's man. What do I watch first, Hollywood? Do I watch Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, or do I watch uh the new Captain Marvel movie? I think I'll go for a walk instead. Miss AKA lady, I walk outside every morning for at least an hour. My job is demanding, and my day ain't right without that outdoor time. People completely underestimate the power of the sun. Yeah, my doctor gets mad at me, and they gave me pills to take so I can get that vitamin D. You know what I mean? Pitney, brother Pitney's in the house. What's good, fam? Heineken. Got to drink Heineken. All right. Chronic inactivity, lack of exercise, and poor nutrition. Physical activity and nutrition are both fundamentally linked to happiness. In fact, one study in the Clinical Journal of Sports Medicine found that people who were inactive were more than twice as likely to be unhappy as those who remain active. And it's not just a question of unhappy people being less happy. Becoming physically active led participants to be happier. That's not surprising given that physical activity has been linked to increased confidence and emotional stability, positive body image, improved self-control, decreased anxiety and depression, decreased feelings of hostility, and reduced abuse of harmful substances like cigarettes and alcohol. Finally, when it comes to happiness, you are what you eat. One study found that even after controlling for socioeconomic status, weight, and physical activity level, children with poorer diets were consistently less happy. And one German study found that healthy eating correlated with improved mood and happiness, the biggest effect caused by eating vegetables. And here's the thing, we know this, yet we send our kids, our public school system feeds our kids garbage. They put vending machines in there and let kids buy candy bars and nasty stale pizza or whatever it is. They just have vending machines in there with just like vending machine food. And then they wonder why the kids are doing so poorly in school. That's one of the reasons. You know what I mean? They said that the people in France were so unhappy, but the children in France, when they go to school, they have gourmet chefs that make all their meals, and they offer breakfast and a big lunch. You know what I mean? Like with robust vegetables and leafy green stuff and real food, beef, chicken, you know what I mean? Fish. We know this stuff and we don't do anything about it. I mean, that's one way to get me unhappy. Start thinking about how messed up our culture is. That's one of the ways to get me unhappy. You know what I mean? So this right here is worth a read, guys. Like I put it in there for a reason. Um, Skewed effective forecasting is in here because it goes down into uh tending to, like tending towards dissatisfaction. Like that's part of people. Chronic dissatisfaction can manifest in a couple of ways, a couple of different ways. Perfectionism, people like that are feeling like you ought to be better at things um than you are, is one of them. Like, and this is a really good article too to kind of check out, guys. You definitely want to check out this article. Um, Man, it talks about these people who are perfectionists and kind of why, and they kind of, they're unhappy. They're unhappy people. You know what I mean? What's good, love? Good to see you. Hashtag on the spot live with I am the beautiful one. I am the lovely one. I'm the beautiful one. I can't see everything, but good to see you, love. Thanks for coming through. I'm so glad you're here. Miss AKA lady, real food is so expensive. That's a tough one for low income families. Absolutely. And that's why you would think we would invest some of that easily gained tax money and we would put some better food in the schools, you would think. But I don't want to make myself mad and talk about it. So yeah, it goes on like the whole perfectionism thing is a byproduct of dysfunctional thinking. So that's something to really look into, guys. Like, I mean, and Brother Dino, like, get off of social media. Yeah. Yeah. And speak 1-to-1. Get off of social media and speak 1-to-1. But you're right, bro. You're right. So this whole perfectionism thing, man, it talks about, especially when you're already unhappy, it's easy to feel like you're failing at one or more things in life. But as Dr. John D. Kelly points out, perfectionism is a byproduct of dysfunctional thinking. Like a preoccupation with some insignificant details, focusing on negatives and disproportionate thinking, which I never even thought about this. Others feel dissatisfied with aspects of their lives, their job, their relationships, or they're living in a financial situation, right? We talked about that. People with crushing debt. There's a difference between being driven and being chronically dissatisfied. I could definitely see that happening with young kids. They don't know themselves and they're just unhappy. If you find that you tend to be more dissatisfied than satisfied with things in your life, chances are you're stuck in a negative pattern of thinking. If your coworkers, partners, friends, or parents seem to consistently let you down, you may have developed an inappropriate cognitive pattern. This I didn't know. You know what I mean? Late, but I come with the light. I appreciate that, love. Thank you. Thank you for coming with the light. And you guys are never late, man. Y'all are always right on time, right? Skewed effective forecasting. I never heard of this one before. I thought this was kind of cool to see. We've spoken about effective forecasting before, the ability to accurately predict how a situation's outcome will make you feel in the future. All humans are pretty bad at it, but some people tend to overestimate negative impacts and underestimate positive ones. As a result, you may often feel like there's nothing to look forward to. I've met people like this. Plus, like all habits, the longer you do it, the more deeply ingrained the behavior becomes. Once you fall into the pattern of negative effective forecasting, you're more likely to start seeking out possible negative outcomes and ignoring the positive ones. I know people like this. Brother Primal Studies, what's good, fam? I know people like that. Sister Rouse is in the house as well. What's good, love? We all need to go outside, lay down on the grass, and breathe. Facts. But I know people like this. I think we all do. They don't want to do anything like, why do this? It's going to turn out bad anyway. They always see the negative. No matter what, it's going to be negative. And they always overlook the positive. Even if it's something small, they overlook it. I know a lot of people like that. Maybe these young kids, maybe there are more and more young kids like this than, like the rest of us, like our generations. We just get out here and just do it. It says focusing on negative past and future events. The Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu said, if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. Wow. So you need to be right in the middle, y'all. You need to be right in the middle. There's some truth to that, but it may be a little more complex. One study found anxiety is related to both remembering and imagining more negative events, while depression is related to remembering and imagining fewer positive events. Either way, the problem is one of negative cognitive pattern, right? Is one of a negative cognitive pattern. It's a pattern, so you got to break that negative pattern. The tendency to either focus on negative events or to have trouble focusing on positive ones. So at least they give you they give us ways to fix it. At least they give us ways to fix it. Brother Primal Studies, I don't get too high, I don't get too low, smooth and steady. That's right, man. Smooth and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. You don't want to get too happy, you don't want to get too sad. That's facts. How to fix your unhappiness. These kinds of negative cognitive and behavior patterns are the main causes of unhappiness and dissatisfaction in people's lives. The good news is you can take control of the situation. And it says, here's how. Identify your negative patterns. I like this. I like this right off rip. Identify your negative patterns. Admitting you have a problem is the first step. Okay. A little cliche, but it's actually true. You're going to first need to find out which of the above negative patterns or habits are contributing to your unhappiness. And this list is by no means an exhaustive. There may be some other patterns of behavior or thinking that's affecting your happiness. It's okay because this method works for all of them. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, this, when you read these kind of things, they give you a list like that's not all inclusive. It's never all inclusive. There's always variants of and this and that and stuff they couldn't think of and this and right. But what I like about this is they're saying, no, man, you can go out here and fix it. You know what I mean? Just go out here. Admitting you have a problem is the first step. I got a problem. How can I fix this? Self-assessment. What's wrong with, you know what I mean? Okay, what am I doing wrong here? And I think that the young lady, we were watching her video, that should be the first question she asked herself. Like, what am I doing wrong here? You know what I mean? Like, it's not everyone else. Like, what can I be doing better? You know, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. So it says right here to first start keeping a journal. That's pretty cool. Rich Cooper was saying that a couple of weeks ago. I was on his page and he was like, yeah, man, keep a journal. There are lots of different ways to keep a journal, and we've spoken about how to get started. The most important thing is to track your day-to-day life and try to find patterns that you can be unhappy. Try to find patterns that can you to be unhappy. Now read that. How come that doesn't sound right? The most important thing is to keep track of your day-to-day life and try to find patterns that can you to be unhappy. Yeah, I think a word is missing. Y'all know I be struggling anyway. And I'm like, when they start missing stuff, you find the patterns that are making you unhappy. And then there are 2 ways to go about identifying your habits, passively and actively. All right. Passive identification, how you're feeling now. Passive identification involves evaluating your current thoughts and behaviors. Do you have better days when you get up, when you get more sleep? How about when you exercise, when you spend time outdoors? Are there certain activities that always cause you to be happier, sadder? How do you normally react to perceived negative situations? How do you usually feel thinking about the future? How do you usually feel looking back on past events? Wow, that kind of gets in there, y'all. That kind of gets in there. I think I do this, but I do it without thinking. It's like an unconscious thing with me. You know what I mean? Like, because I tend to try to find a positive in what I'm doing because my thing is if it's not positive, why am I doing it? I try to stay away from the negative stuff. And when I go through bad things, I really try to stay away from the negative stuff because I can get real negative. And it could escalate into stuff that's just not bad for anybody. So, I mean, it's just not good for anybody. It's all bad. So when I feel those feelings coming, like, oh, I'm starting to, you know what I mean? I'm getting riled up. It's kind of like the, you know what I mean? When Dr. Banner feels that Hulk stuff, like, yo, don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. That's me. So I'm like, let me separate myself. Let me get my head right. Let me calm down. Whatever that means. I might have to take a walk, take a run, go to the gym, do something, tire myself out, get a rest, take a good shower. Then normally I'm good. You know what I mean? But if I let it fester, it could get ugly. And it won't be the person that I'm mad at. It'll be whoever comes along and says something or does something I don't like. Then they might get it. And that's just wrong. That is just wrong. So, and yeah, I can see that when you look towards past events, you're looking at some negative stuff, or you got some negative stuff coming. I can see you, sliding into that. You know what I mean? That's what it is, brother Dino Dinosaur. You cannot compare your life to what you see on social media, filters, personal trainers, free holidays. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, brother. Do not try to keep up with the Joneses, man, especially when the Joneses is faking everything. Don't keep up with the Joneses, man. You'll go broke. Miss AKA lady, I would like to take it a step further and say you got to take responsibility for things that happen in your life. That's the only way to take control and make a change. Facts. I agree with you wholeheartedly. 100% on that. 100%. Brother Primal, uh, also setting realistic expectations is incredibly important. Often, many of life's disappointments are related to unmet expectations. True. True. You know what I mean? That's a fact. And Brother Primal Studies at Miss AKA lady for sure. Got to control what you control and take ownership for it. Always, Brother William, struggle read, but you got through it. I did, man. I'm like just trying to figure that out. Like it, I think it was missing a word, bro. It wasn't working in my head. It was not working in my head, bro. And that's the thing, man. You put yourself out here, bro. You got to go through it. I'm like, but what the? I don't. This isn't making sense. And like I said, bro, I don't care. I'll put myself out there in a heartbeat, man. I'll get through it. Um, there are people who are afraid to speak in public and do this kind of stuff. Like, bro, I know I'm speaking in front of people, and this thing would be, that little piece right there could go viral. It would be like, oh well, you know what I mean? I'm a comedian, bro. I get down the way I get down. Sister Roslyn, vitamin D, y'all work and beating kept me grounded. That's what it is. We got Sister Beautifully Animated Speaks in the house. What's good, love? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you coming through. Always good to see my folks coming over from Black Man Unfiltered. Hey, if you guys haven't checked out what's going on Black Man Unfiltered, please do. They got some good stuff going on over there. Brother Mandrell's show last night was a pretty good one. And apparently there was a show about marriage a couple days ago that I have to go and watch. It's supposed to be fire. Definitely gonna check that out, man. So y'all get over there and check that out, Black Man Unfiltered. After y'all get finished laughing at me for struggling through these words. Oh man, active identification. Okay, now try this. Active identification involves adding or removing thoughts or behaviors to see how they affect your happiness. Try sleeping 8 hours every night. What do your journal entries look like? How about if you eat really well for 2 weeks? Try imagining positive future events 3 times per day. What effect does that have? I don't know about all that, y'all. Practice gratitude every day for a week. How do you feel at the end of it? But I always do that every way. Okay. I guess change your negative patterns. Now that you've identified your negative behavioral and cognitive patterns, you need to take steps towards changing them. We know from forming new habits can be hard, but there are some excellent resources out there to help you. So yeah, they know forming new habits can be hard, but they have resources out there. And it's like one of our favorites is James Clear, author of Atomic Habits. He's written a guide on forming new habits. This works especially well for new behavioral habits. Okay, and then it kind of gets into some other stuff. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I've been lucky enough to figure this stuff out on my own. I do journal, but I don't think the way I journal is typical. You know what I mean? I'll go through a few months when I'm just kind of jotting things down or whatever, and I'll go back and read it, and I'll find it's kind of good for me. But I guess there are people who journal every single day. Yeah, I normally journal when I got something that's really bothering me. If I'm going through a bad phase, that's when I'll journal. And then the other times when I'm writing stuff down, I'm writing down comedy routines. And whenever I go back and I read my notes, it takes me back to wherever I was when I came up with the concept. And I guess that's a form of journaling, I guess. You know what I mean? But changing your negative patterns, however you do it, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Miss AKA lady, and this is at Sister Rosin. I love your work. It's a good workout, and I have a beautiful lawn. Word. Don't be telling folks that. They be inviting you over so you can come cut their grass. I'm one of those neighbors who need the flyest lawn. That's what's up. Brother Dino, heads up to Tay Brothers. More problems. They just handed over new devices. 3 UK girls are going legal on them. going back to 2012, 2016, man, they're really going after these dudes. And going back to 2012 and 2016 and wanting devices and whatever, man, they just want the tapes. They've already gone through that in the UK, and they didn't have they didn't have anything on the tapes based on what they were saying. So we'll see. That is terrible, man. More problems. That is terrible. At least they're under home confinement. At least they're not inside. That is what it is. Miss AKA lady, you have thoughts about writing down your life notes and lessons to give to your daughter? Nah, I've never thought about that. I've never thought about that. But we got this, don't we? You know what I mean? We got this. So I guess my daughter could go back and watch streams and stuff like that, and she'll hear these things because there are little things here and there that I've said is recorded. So I know there's that. We'll see. So, and then number 3 over here, they had this one thing I wanted to get out here, and then I'm gonna wrap this up because it's been a couple hours. Time flies fast, man. Just flies by when you're kicking it with people you like. Keep evaluating, keep improving, stay happy. Right? If you can successfully find which negative behavioral cognitive patterns are making you unhappy and address them, you'll be able to start feeling happier in less time than you may think. I mean, that makes sense. Like, if you could figure out what's making you unhappy and fix it, then yeah, you're going to be happy. You know what I mean? But it says, but happiness is like a garden and it has to be tended. Otherwise, weeds can settle back in. Oh, that's a good point. And the longer you let them grow, the harder they are to take up. So continue evaluating yourself for negative patterns, address them as you find them, and you'll stay happy. That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, that's it right there. I think I put this one in the chat. I'll put it in there again just in case. But I mean, that makes sense. And I'm all about self-reflection and evaluating. Just make yourself better, man. I'm all about that. I'm all about that, yo. I look at what's going, even when I'm going through the rough times, I'm like, all right, man, I could do this. I can get better. Get off the couch, get off the sofa, get out of bed, wake up, make your bed, eat breakfast, go take a walk. Those little things will help pull you out of a funk if you're in a funk. You know what I mean? Like every Friday I go out and I go to the salsa spot. I might dance a little bit. I might just sit in there and just interact with folks. I'm getting out the house. I'm talking to folks. I'm cool with the bouncers. I'm cool with the wait staff. I'm cool with people who hang out. Like Brother Dusto, y'all see him all, people from Black Man Unfiltered, no Scam Likely. He's in there, like he'll come down, we'll kick it. I mean, it's just good to get away and whatever's on your mind, the BS, at least for a couple hours, you're not thinking about it. And you're getting out there, you're sweating, you're dancing a little bit, you're interacting with beautiful people, beautiful women, cool dudes, right? You're drinking, but not to excess. You have yourself a little drink. Scam doesn't drink, so he'll just be drinking water or whatever. But you're just out there and you're just chilling. And I'm telling you, that makes a big difference as opposed to being in the house, sitting in the house, watching Netflix or YouTube or something, wasting away. And you just sitting and you're going to sit in that negative space, getting mad, getting angry, getting down, feeling sad. Right. So you gotta break that. You gotta break that. So I agree with a lot of stuff that was in that article when it says you gotta identify. You go, hey man, I got a problem. But why do I feel this way? Why am I feeling sad? You gotta figure it out. All right, how I'm gonna break this cycle? I'm gonna get out the house. I'm gonna go drive over to my cousin's house, or I'm gonna go take a long walk, or I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna get out the house. I'm gonna go dance. I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna go do, I'm gonna go to the mall and walk around. I'm gonna go have this happy hour, man. I'm gonna go get me like a half off burger somewhere, and I'm gonna sit at the bar and I'm gonna talk to people. Whatever you gotta do. And then you sit around and figure out, okay, how can I deal with this issue that has me all messed up in the first place? Right? You do that. You do that. You address the issue. You don't run from it. You don't hide from it. You don't just let it hang over you like a storm cloud. You address it. Like a grown-up. Address it. Don't blame anybody, because the only person that's really at fault is the person in the mirror. I don't care what the situation is. You did something to get yourself there. Now get yourself out of it. That's how I look at it. I mean, Sister Rousing, journaling is different for everyone, not right or wrong. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like Brother JT's in the house. What up, though, player? I see you. Miss AKA lady, I think living in Florida is nice. The weather is beautiful. The landscape is colorful. God loves this place. Yeah, he loves this place until he throws a hurricane at us. You know what I mean? Throws a hurricane at us. The floods that just hit Dade and Broward counties. Man, you know, God know we got a problem with insurance down here. We don't need that. So, but I feel you though. It's like today was a beautiful day. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's cool when it rains. You know what I mean? The lightning strikes be massive, but it's cool when it's rain. When it rains, I go out after a storm, smell the rain, go out, take a walk. Yeah, the mosquitoes might eat you up, but whatever. Put on some some mosquito repellent. But it's good. I like it down here. It was cool in LA. LA was cool. I mean, it's overrun with homeless right now. That's its own problem. But like the weather in LA was perfect. The scenery is nothing like seeing those mountains. It's beautiful, man. Going down to the ocean, right? Go down and watch the sunset over the Pacific Ocean. You want to talk about something that's absolutely beautiful. Like, bro, right there in Santa Monica, man, right there on the PCH, just watch the sunset over the oceans. Gorgeous. I mean, I've had good times in Michigan during winter. You know what I mean? You be in Michigan during the wintertime, man, sitting in the hot tub and looking out some fresh snow, like it just landed and it's untouched. It's just out there. It's beautiful. And it's beautiful. I remember I was over a friend's house I was in St. Louis at her mom's house. I was in the back taking a nap because she had these bird feeders and it must have been 30 hummingbirds out there just humming. And it put me to sleep. I ain't never slept that good in my life. These hummingbirds just all over the place, landing on you. It was just doing their thing. And it was great. So there's so many good things. Now, the article was talking about those people who simply look for the negative. If you simply look for the negative, it's it's a problem. You gotta find the good that's out there, y'all. You gotta find it. Even when you're going through some of the worst things you've ever gone through, find the beauty in something. Just find that moment. You might see something, man. You might see, I remember once we were on some mission somewhere. I was miserable. I was dirty. I was tired. I was hungry. It was standard mission stuff, man. This was basic training, as a matter of fact. So I was really messed up because I didn't know the tricks of the trade yet. So I'm chafing everywhere, sore, feet hurting because, I just got the boots. We had just gotten the basic training. So we were really breaking in the boots. It was a long ruck march. Man, I was hating life. And I was sitting somewhere and this dragonfly just came up and it landed like right next to me. I mean, I say right next to me, I mean, just like this. It was like a dragonfly. Like, I can't believe this thing. How come this thing ain't afraid of me? This dragonfly landed on his, right next to me. And I put my finger up and it just hopped on my finger. This dragonfly just hanging out with me, walking around on my finger. You know what I mean? Dragonfly kicked it with me for about 15, 20 minutes. Then I had to get up and go do something. I lift my finger up and dragonfly just flew away. Man, that was cool. For like that 15, 20 minutes, bro, I wasn't feeling nothing. I was just fascinated by this. It was pretty big size dragonfly, man. Just hanging out with me, just kicking it. You know what I mean? I forgot all about that. You know what I mean? Like the mission didn't seem that hard anymore. Like my feet didn't bother me. My back wasn't sore. I forget all about that. I'm just tripping on this dragonfly. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, man. That was a horrible mission. I didn't even know how mission was supposed to go. It was basic training, man. It was terrible. But all I really remember is that dragonfly. I don't remember all the other negative stuff. You know what I mean? So that's what you got to do, y'all. And for these young people who don't have any friends, it's got to be you. It's got to be you. Figure out what it is about you that are putting everybody else off and fix it. And I would say this, start with saying hello. Hello, how you doing? Start there. Smile. Smile. You know what I mean? Give someone a polite nod. If somebody comes up and talks to you, you know what I mean? It's a quick encounter. Engage them. 25, 45 seconds of your life. Maybe they'll make you laugh. Maybe you'll make them laugh. Make them smile. Do that. And then, friends will come. Friends will come. You know what I mean, Miss AKA lady? It's like the lightning in Tampa is scary. Yes, it is. It most certainly is, Brother Pitney. Hurricanes are bad down here. Most of us Floridians eagerly anticipate getting a few days off of work and school. Bro, look, man, I don't know what to say, man. Look, I don't play with no hurricanes. Ever since look, that one mission, Hurricane Andrew, they sent us down there for hurricane relief efforts, and I saw what a Cat 5 hurricane is capable of doing. That's it, man. I don't mess with hurricanes, bro. Call me when it's over. I'll leave. You know what I mean? I get up out of Dodge. But I feel you though, bro. Get a couple of days off. You know what I mean? Brother Damon's in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Thanks for coming through. We just wrapping it up. We had a good talk. I know I said I was going to drop the link, y'all. I lied. My bad. You know what? I'll drop it. I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie to everybody. I'll drop the link. If anybody want to come up, you know, and talk about this whole happiness thing, just pop on up, y'all. If y'all want to come up and talk about young kids not having friends and, you know, why people are so unhappy, there's the link right there. I pinned it to the top. Y'all want to come up and talk about it, man? We could talk about it. You know what I mean? Because I just don't get it. And we gave a lot of reasons as to why. You know, I really think these younger kids never having to deal with adversity, having their bulldozer parents move everything out the way, then their parents are finding friends for them and taking care of all the problems. I think that's a big issue right there. Right? Like I said, you know, true friendships, those long-lasting friendships are forged through some sort of trial or tribulation, man. It's forged in, you know, drama. If you don't have any drama in your life, I mean, you know, there's no need to have that bond. There's no need at all to have that bond. So, yeah, that's what it is. Brother Damon, just coming over from Roland Martin Unfiltered. How was that? What did they talk about? Was it pretty good? Hey, was Suzette on there? I know Suzette Speaks is rocking with Roland Martin on some stuff. I wonder if Suzette was on there, man. And I know Suzette Speak has a show coming up about artificial intelligence. She was going to do it last week. I think she's going to do it this weekend or sometime this week. I'm looking forward to that. Y'all know I'm all crazy about AI, man. I think that Fox News is running a story about AI. Some AI gave up a plan on how it's going to destroy humanity. And I mean, I didn't even look at it. It was on YouTube. It was on a Fox News feed on YouTube. I didn't look at it. But Elon Musk, man, he's like petrified of AI. My thing is, whatever. It's going to be what's going to be. If AI becomes self-aware and decides to do something to us, oh well, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm hoping everything is cool. Yeah, it looks like my feed is like way behind me. Updated. I was looking at what, you know, I have a live feed going, and I was kind of watching that. And I mean, yep, there it is. And I don't know if there it is. My bad, y'all. My bad. Miss AKA lady. So random question. But is this upcoming Freaknik documentary messing with anyone's happiness in here? I was at the best Freaknik ever. I was at the Freaknik that put Freaknik on the map. That's the one when Pac was down there, MC Breed was down there. We saw when Deion Sanders was prime time and he was the man, he was walking around down there. They were filming the video to Tootsie Roll. We were like watching that. LA came. I mean, that year, that must have been 90. That must have been 90, 94, 93 or 94. We just went on a humble. Like, let's go. That Freaknik was off the chain. And if this is the Freaknik that the documentary is based on, that's going to be one hell of a documentary, y'all. One hell of a documentary. I had a good time down there. I bet you Vice President Kamala Harris was down there because, you know, she was in school during that time. Yeah, I bet she was at Freaknik. You know what I mean? But the fact that people wasn't filming everything, young kiddos, I keep telling y'all, don't film everything. Plausible deniability only works if you don't have any proof. That's what I'm talking about. Kamala Harris could have been doing whatever she was doing, but there is no proof. Just like DL Saint was down there doing whatever he wanted to do. No proof. Nowhere. It ain't filmed nowhere. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. All right. We dropped the link. Looks like nobody wants to come up. I ain't mad at y'all. Brother William, I am not mad at all, y'all. I'm not. It's time for me to make my daughter some leftovers. She's gonna get some meatloaf, peas, corn, and potatoes for dinner. And we're gonna get that to her real quick. Brother William, not my happenings, but if they come out with an end of a world documentary from Conway, Arkansas, then sheesh. Yeah, bet. Let's make that happen. If that is the end of the world gonna start out there in Arkansas, bro, we gotta get you down here to Florida, man. Let's take a trip down to Miami, man, and make it happen. You know what it is. I ain't mad at Arkansas, but boy, oh boy, Miami. Even underwater, Miami is the place to be, cuz I am not gonna lie to you, cuzzo. It's the place to be. It was like Arkansas Freaknik back in the day. Y'all had a Freaknik in Arkansas? I did not know that. If that's the case, bro, I did not know that. Never went. Didn't know. I only went to the one in Atlanta. Went a couple years, and that was it. Because they shut it down. They made it so restrictive that no one went. That year I'm talking about, man, the police didn't care. People driving up on the sidewalks, they shutting down streets. Man, it was crazy. Yeah, Miss AK A-Lab, never heard of it too. Yeah, I never heard of that, bro. That would have been something, man. Start that up again. Y'all start it up again and, Freaknik for old people. Like a Freaknik for old people. We'll all come. It was called End of the World. I didn't know that, bro. I did not know that at all. Hey, learn something every single day. So that's it, man. 2 hours and 20 minutes. We had a good time. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know I did. This was fun. I really enjoy hanging out with y'all. Thanks for rocking out with me, man. But we got to talk about it. Why people are so sad. This is a pretty cool episode, man. We got to talk about it. Those links in there are definitely worth a read. You guys should, give it a read. I'll be back tomorrow at 6. Not sure what we're gonna talk about tomorrow, because I know Fridays I don't normally do. I don't normally go live on Fridays, but we're going to go live every day, Monday through Friday, 6:00, and Saturday and Sundays at 2. So not sure what we'll talk about, but we'll talk about something. Maybe I can find something fun out there to talk about. We're definitely going to talk about something, though. Tomorrow, I'll see y'all tomorrow right here at 6:00. I know a lot of y'all won't be here because y'all be getting ready to go out and do grown-up stuff, man. It's Friday. I'll be getting ready to go out there and get your wiggle on. I ain't mad at you. Miss AK. Hey, lady, I have a theory that a lot of today's culture is a derivative of the 90s. I don't know. These kids ain't doing it right, man. These kids don't know how to party. Brother William, for sure. Peace. I'm going to see all y'all later, man. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Hope y'all come through. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about some dating stuff, y'all. That's what we're going to do. Maybe I'll review something from the Whatever podcast. We're gonna talk about some modern dating stuff and what these young ladies and these young men are talking about and doing out there, right? That's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6:00. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We're gonna have that conversation. It's gonna be the RP talk. We're gonna get into the talking points, y'all, but we're gonna do it the way we do it over here. So I hope y'all can make it. Brother William, Westside Wiggle, Brother Damon, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, peace. I'll see y'all, man. It's good. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast, and I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.
Man, oh man, that was fun, y'all.